We are, everybody. It is time for another review, and I have my two favorite peeps with me on Good Critic, Bad Critic, and we are reviewing Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from 1991, ladies and gentlemen. And this was Craig's pick in the week. That's why he's in the middle, so that we can double team him here. I promise you, it's not going to be that.
You get your holes ready, boy.
It's what the last Craig. What was your last pick again? Remind me.
Mortal
Kombat.
Kingsman.
Yeah.
We kind of teamed up on him on Mortal Kombat. Even
still
though
it's
still
watch.
such a fun movie, but
that was
probably the most fun we've had on a podcast was probably Mortal Kombat. Just a sheer entertainment.
It's gloriously bad.
Yes.
That's why I like it. It's gloriously bad.
He's starting off on the wrong foot. We're mentioning other movies.
Yes, I picked that.
Just so everyone's informed, we were in a call just trying to get all the bantering out for about 2 hours before we started this.
Yes,
So there's still some left in the tank.
That doesn't help, yeah.
Yeah. So this is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves review, and this is Craig's pick for the week. This is directed by Kevin Reynolds, who has he's actually done one of my favorite films, Count of Monte Cristo, which I hope that
you've mentioned that before.
You guys will eventually. I'll probably pick it at some point, but
if you pick it, I'll watch it.
Yeah. Screenplay is by Penn Densham, John Watson. Story by Penn Densham. Cast: we got Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater, Alan Rickman, Mary Elizabeth.
Alan
Rickman.
How do you say?
Mastrantonio.
Mastrantonio. Thank you very much. I
know
it's the Italian in me is very mad right now. Brian Blessed is in this,
yes,
even though it's only one scene. Michael Wincott, who I will mention probably later on, and of course, you want to do the honors, Craig?
Oh, what? Sean Connery.
Yes, there you go.
Connery.
As a cameo.
Yeah,
that surprised the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I'm sure it surprised everybody.
It was George Clooney.
I didn't think it was
actually
George Clooney. My brain, I knew who it was, and I typed in George Clooney for whatever reason.
It should have been surprising if you actually saw it when it came out, because apparently Sean Connery, he was not billed on the credits. Yeah, he's uncredited, so they did that on purpose so it would be surprised that he showed up.
Why did they do that? Was there like any history with Robin Hood and Sean Connery before then, or was it just like a hey, buddy who's with the director?
No, he was.
He's probably one of the most famous people in the world, you know. Like,
at that point, he just he would have come off Hunt for Red October.
Yeah,
and Highlander.
We should do that someday. That would be a good movie.
I know you'd like.
The guy who did the music for this film also did the music for Highlander. Yeah, didn't he also do the music for Highlander?
Lethal Weapon, Die Hard.
This is Michael Kamen.
All the Lethal Weapons, yeah. Came in like the fucking crocodile species.
Yeah, like that. Fantastic score. Music on this is.
Yeah, I enjoyed the music in this.
It fits. It definitely fits. Yeah. Cinematography by Douglas Milsom. Editor Peter Boyle. Distributed by Warner Brothers. Release date at June 14th, 1991. Running time is 143 minutes. Pretty long. The budget on this was $48 to $60 million, and the box office return was $390 million.
Do you know what beat it?
It was the second highest grossing film of the year in 1991. What beat it?
Best film in the world beat it.
Lord of the Rings?
No.
Best 91, sorry. Best single film in the world?
Tell me it's Ninja Turtles.
No.
That was the year before, I think.
Ninja Turtles was 90, and that was the highest grossing indie film ever. No, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Oh, Judgment Day.
Okay.
That's a good watch. That
makes sense.
That's my favorite standalone film ever.
Standalone? Terminator
2.
It's his favorite movie of all time.
Wait, so what makes a standalone film? Because there's multiple.
I don't think you can watch that and not have seen the first one.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
It's not part of the trilogy. It's not like like Lord of the Rings.
Actually, Lord of the Rings. You can watch. That's a good point, Greg. With Terminator 2, you can
Is that
watch
what
that
makes
without
a
watching the
standalone?
original.
It's a sequel, but you can watch it as a standalone film. You don't need to go.
That's dope.
It's not. You don't need to watch the Clone Wars.
You
or
don't
Rebels
need to do your homework.
You don't need to do your homework to understand that film. You can just
so I
enjoy
can
it.
say it once and one time only. Fuck Kathleen Kennedy. Good riddance. Good riddance.
Guess what we're talking about for 2 hours.
Well, that was like what, a good 45 minutes or something like that.
I feel like there's going to be an equal amount of shitting on things in this episode. I already got shit on for a good hour.
If we ever have a point where we start talking, and let's say like the channel just blows up, we should have like, and I'm talking like really blows up, but it won't because we suck at this. But, but if it ever got to a point like that, like I would take the 2 hours that we did before this and just record that and make that like a special episode or something like that, you know?
Yeah. I think it would be
something like that at some point.
Something that would be neat would be like if there's any like big movie news that happens in a week, I think that's worth a 5-minute video, us talking a little shit, getting our thoughts on it. But
what's happening?
I feel like that would be fun. Like Kathleen Kennedy or James Bond, you know.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be a good 5 minutes, but it took us about an hour and 20. So
yeah. All right. So yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991. Who wants to start us off? What do you guys want to talk about first?
First of all, guys' reactions, thoughts,
Well, I'm not going to give you a score yet.
Not a score, no, just general thoughts. Just
reactions. So, like, I'd seen this movie growing up probably once or twice. I did not remember much of it because there were a lot of actors in this movie where I was like, oh, shit, you know, Professor Snape, seeing him was fucking crazy. Who, similar, like, he's always him, if that makes sense. I think I got to watch him in some more movies, but, like, even watching this all the way through, I was like, Harry Potter. Like I felt that throughout his whole performance. Maybe a little bit more. Can't say that. Maybe a little bit more salty in this movie. But no, the cast in this movie I liked, except for the fucking main guy, Kevin Costner. Fucking not a fan. I don't know what it is about him. At first I thought that it was because of like some of the drama and shit that I've heard over the past few years, but I really just don't like him as an actor. Doing a tiny bit of research on this film, I learned that he actually wanted to have an accent in this film, but for whatever reason, the director was like, no, that's going to distract the audience. I thought that would have been a great idea, because now I'm just watching this all-American actor playing an American that's not American, and now I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? And that distracted me more than anything, that he had an American accent. Not to mention, I really don't think he's a good actor. He's not Zendaya bad, but he's not good, you know?
Oh, but Christine Slater was fine. You know, that accent's good.
No, I fucking hated her too. She annoyed me.
Christine Slater.
Whoever the fuck the actress was.
I'm talking about, Will Scarlett. Christian Slater.
The guy with the long hair that ended up being Robin Hood's brother.
He's his brother.
Oh, I didn't like him just because he was
he's as American as you can fucking get.
Yeah, I mean, all the accents were pretty off, man.
At least he gave an effort. I'm actually with. Here's the thing. I think this is because Craig, he either wants to hear he wants to hear a good accent, English accent, or none at all. Don't even make the effort. Which is what I'm guessing. Yeah. Okay, which I totally understand. But as an American, like, I at least want Kevin Costner to try to make the effort. Which
apparently he did.
Kevin Costner comes out. All right, Mary Poppins. Sorry, Mary.
But if you listen closely, here's the thing about his accent, though, that at least I noticed. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it sounded like there's scenes in there, like 3/4 of the scenes, he just has his American accent, and then in like a quarter of the scenes, it like slips into this, like, it's kind of like how Carrie Fisher did Princess Leia in the first Star Wars movie, where it kind of like goes in and out of like a transatlantic type of accent.
Transatlantic. That's funny. That's the one
you tried it. I've got a suspicion that there's some there's some early filming that made its way into the final filming before they just went, just fucking, just do your accent.
There also could be the situation, like, I don't know, like I find myself, like if I'm ever talking to my brother, if I'm around his family, my half brother Michael, they're all from New York and they have like very thick New York accents. I realize that when I'm around them, sometimes, even though I'm not from New York, my brain will like trick me. So, I mean, I could also, give him a little bit credit. I mean, he's surrounded by people speaking in fucking accents all day. And then you're told that you're the only one who can't. Like, I'd be a little pissed, or at the very least, subconsciously start talking in it. But I still
start talking with your hands.
Yeah, say, fuck you. Bada bing.
My mum's side of the family, they're Welsh. Whenever I've gone to see them, I'm not trying to take the piss out of them, but I do start affectating like a bit of a Welsh accent.
What does a Welsh accent sound like? Help me out here.
Oh, well, boy, I can't do a Welsh accent. Absolutely rip that bloody piss out to me. I'll have a committee meeting and fucking kick me out.
It sounds like a porn.
what he was actually saying? Not the accent, but what he was actually saying.
It was like kind of more of a feminine.
Yes.
It's. I don't want to offend anybody from Wales, but
sorry.
When I first. No, I'm not saying you did. I'm saying it before what comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. I have a big love for the people of Wales with the way they've fucking made fun of me sometimes. Because they make fun of themselves. Like, they literally correct me on how I make fun of Wales. It's hilarious. The people of Wales are fun. What I was going to say is, like, if I had to compare it to something, and maybe Irish, I don't know. It's like the accent's kind of similar, but not really. It's,
from an American's perspective, that's something
I can understand. I can understand where you get the confusion from, but if you spend a couple of days,
they're both Celtic, right? It's like,
that reminds me.
Irish and Scottish, Celtic.
Fucking Celtic outfits and makeup, and we'll get there.
In the movie,
holy shit!
But yeah, Kevin Costner's accent, like I guess me and Craig are in different opinions here. I wanted him to like. I feel like I wanted him to make the effort, even though you think he did. But I feel like he was insisting on an accent, and the director was like, no. And I hope it's because it was bad, but at certain scenes it like slips in there a little bit. But I think it's because he's trying to defy orders a little bit. Maybe I'm crazy, but
from what I understand, he got a dialect coach, and it just wasn't working. It's just it's like when some people lie about being able to ride a horse. Obviously, I know that's not inclusive in this film because everyone can. But when they say, "Oh yeah, I can ride a horse," and then it's like, "Oh, you can't ride a horse."
You know what I've heard? I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Alexander with Colin Farrell. It's the movie about Alexander the Great. But I've heard that which is funny for Colin Farrell because he's actually lives closer there than he does here. But he, as you guys know, he puts on great American accents. But apparently in that movie in Alexander, they wanted everybody to have like an English type accent, and apparently Colin Farrell can't do it, so they made everybody do an Irish accent instead.
Fucking shot.
So instead of him doing an English accent, they made everybody else do an Irish accent.
That's hysterical.
Just to keep everybody, like, I guess,
a continuity across the board.
Yeah.
I never appreciated him.
I don't know if that's true though, but that's what I've read things about it. I still don't know if it's true, but if that's true, that's fucking wild.
Yeah. His American accent in The Penguin is, oh my god!
Like that's New York, New Jersey, a little bit.
Yeah. Holy it's fuck, really good. Man!
I'll tell you what, though, his Irish accent is fucking bang on. It really is. Like,
is he not Irish? Where's he from?
He's Irish. Yes, he's Irish. He's Irish.
Trying to pull it over on me, you fuckface.
He fucking better me. Oh my god.
Watching him back on the bloody gentleman.
He makes me turn green just listening to him.
Oh my god.
He's fantastic. Right. Let's get back on this.
What's your love of this film? I'm assuming you picked this because you have a good love for it, right, Craig?
I remember going to see this at the cinema when it came out as a kid. And that was a bit of a special treat. Really didn't have much money growing up. So going to cinema was, a lot of families, you do that every week. It's not a big deal. So this was like, oh, I'm going to get to go see it. Went to see it. Absolutely fell in love with it. The song, Jesus Christ, that song was so in the UK charts. It's not nowadays, but instead of like I know in America, like the Billboard Top 100 is radio play and stuff like that. No, this is how many singles. So people go to the shop and actually buy a tape or a CD, whatever. How many of those are sold? That is what makes it number one. This was number one for 16 consecutive weeks. It's the longest number one.
What song?
UK history. Everything I Do It For You, Bryan Adams. The song from this. So this film was huge. Yeah. You clearly haven't heard the song. You didn't watch it at the end after the credits.
No,
no.
I saw Sean Connery and I was really confused, and I was like, "All right, podcast."
That was in the days where, like, especially in the 90s, I feel like a lot of movies did put like a song at the end credits. That became popular.
Massive thing.
So,
well, there was one more film. One more song that was 15 weeks, which was I think it was from 4 Weddings and a Funeral. It was a wet, wet, wet song called "Love Is All Around." Whitney Houston, when she did The Bodyguard.
If anything, Whitney Houston is going to fucking
that
go
was
crazy.
Just you're talking like films that are like songs that are number one for like.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not right.
That
was not bad.
That
actually wasn't that bad, dude.
I got that Whitney in me.
But no, it was back then. So like my memory of it back then. So I went to see it at the cinema. It was a bit of a big deal. I have watched this so many times. Always hated Alan Rickman as a kid because of this, and it's sort of like sort of like a good wrestling heel, like Bobby the Brain Heenan, like for Brian.
Oh my god! I felt like I was watching a wrestling heel the entire movie.
Yeah, the whole time. So I used as a kid.
Fucking at the end scene for sure. The sword.
No,
fight.
just hated him all the way through because like you're supposed to hate him. As an adult, I'm going, this guy is pure fucking gold. I can just put this on and just have it on just for the Alan Rickman scenes. Absolutely.
I liked him as a villain, besides the not being smart.
He made the movie
part.
for me.
Yeah.
He's the absolute great. He steals this movie, and there's a reason behind it.
You want to say what the reason is?
He didn't want to do the movie, but they really wanted him to play this character, the producers. So it got to the point where they said, look, you can just play this character
do it however
you want to. Do whatever you want. We just want you in. And he wasn't happy with the writing, so he rewrote a bunch of the lines he had. There's an American female comic called Ruby Wax that was really big in the UK at the time. So she helped him out.
Ruby Wax. I've never heard of her. She said she's an American comedian.
But
in the UK?
if she's not American, she was pretending to be American. A bit like a Joan Rivers kind of personality, but she was over here.
Anyway, sorry.
So they rewrote the lines, and he just fucking hams it up. It's deliciously evil. He is so demented and unhinged, and he just chews up the scenery in every single scene, and he's got so many memorable lines. I could just watch it for him, genuinely. And I'm not even being. This is my justification. He is that good. Just watching these.
Something funny about that. I was reading this, and fact check me here, but it says that Costner felt like he was overshadowed by Rickman's performance, so much to the point where they actually cut some scenes out, so that way Costner would be happy.
Well,
because he was pissed off at the fact that Rickman was so his performance was just that good. Yeah,
I mean, he was definitely overshadowed by Rickman. I think.
Was. Yeah, at least he's self-aware because he absolutely was overshadowed by
Morgan. They put fucking poor Morgan Freeman in a corner 90% of the movie.
But Morgan Freeman pulls his weight when he's on. He makes the most when he's on screen. But yeah, this is the Alan Rickman show.
Yeah,
it totally is. So. Yeah, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of memories of it, and I've just watched it so many times over the years, and it's there's a lot of things into it. I'm because I've got that nostalgia, I can look past Kevin Costner, but Alan Rickman is just absolutely fucking brilliant in this film.
You know what kind of vibe his character gave me in this movie, and I hope Brian doesn't hate me for saying this. But Joaquin and Gladiator, I felt like they were both similarly disturbed, if that makes sense. Like their characters, he reminded me a lot of Joaquin and Gladiator. Not to the serious point of it.
They're unhinged.
Like obviously, this movie takes a lot more humor, and they just very unhinged. But I don't know. I felt like there were some points where I was like, oh, I don't know.
I don't see a similarity. Much
of Unhinged. That's about it.
Unhinged.
The unhinged thing, like maybe a little bit, but two totally different characters. One's in charge of like what the town and the surrounding areas, and the rest are. And the other guy is the emperor of
Rome on a much smaller scale,
pretty much.
Actually, no, that it's not a character similarity. It's like a plot line. That one of them wanted to take charge.
Tries to take out of the king. Yeah, he tries to take out the king. Maybe that's where I'm connecting those dots there.
In terms of actual character style, there's
not necessarily the style so much as the themes. You know, the creeping on the lady that doesn't want him, overthrowing the king, or at least trying to.
He creeps on a lot of ladies.
Yeah, he's
we'll get to that. I'll get to that.
I want you, and bring a friend. 10:45.
Don't ruin it. That is my favorite line of the whole film.
Here's the thing with Alan Rickman's performance is amazing, and Kevin Costner, just to me, and I like Kevin Costner, but I just feel like he's such a fish out of water in this film.
It's insert American actor.
Yeah, and it's. I remember the first. I'll tell you what. When this film first opened up, I was really concerned. I was like, "Oh boy, I don't think I'm gonna like this one." And one of the main reasons was because fucking Kevin Costner said about 4 or 5 times how great it is to return home to England, and I went, dude.
Oh, you're talking about in the movie?
I can't take this. I can't take this seriously at all.
Where he rubs his face into the sand all sensually. Yeah.
Oh no, he's just happy to be.
No, he says it like 4 or 5 different times.
That's one scene where he says that.
Okay,
in an American accent, like, "Oh, I'm back in England." Like,
I'm gonna give something bad here to this film. So they've arrived. It's the White Cliffs of Dover. It's iconic. If you've ever seen anything about England, you'll have seen pictures of that. So they're in Dover, and he's saying, "By tonight we'll be at home with my dad." And so Nottingham area. It would take you 3 days to walk that. They've just got off the boat. They haven't got any. They've got sort of no rations, nothing to go with them walking. It's like, no, that's a 3 day. So that's a 4-hour drive if you've got a car, and they didn't have a car.
Boy was hauling ass, man.
I will tell you what, though, even though I didn't like Costner in this movie, and I felt like he was a fish out of water, if that brought the rating down for me, Alan Rickman brought it right back up, because it kind of balances each other out for me anyway. And I do like more. I liked Morgan Freeman's character. The only other one that I've never been a fan of Christian Slater, and he kind of felt out of place in this as well. So other than that, I thought the performances and the and none of it was like particularly bad for me. It was just it was a little bit of fun, I guess.
Performance wise, sorry, go on.
No, and just real quick, I mean, I talked a little bit with it. I just mentioned it to Brian, but we saved it for the podcast. Like, I felt like the start of this movie, I wasn't hooked. Middle, I started to get invested, and I was really enjoying like the middle portion of this movie. And then the climax, I was like, this needs to end. I was over it for so many fucking reasons. And we'll get to the end scene where he, for some reason, wants to let the little boy fucking hang by his neck. Before shooting the arrow. Like, what the fuck was the point of waiting? It needed to end. And then that sword fight, that godforsaken sword fight at the end of that movie, the WWE wrestling match / beginner's intro to parkour was some of the craziest on-screen shit I have ever fucking seen.
Really enjoyed it.
But the middle of the movie, I really enjoyed.
I was actually, because, actually, Craig, before we got on here, I was talking to Quinn, and we both said the middle bit is my favorite, too, the middle of the film, which is, I was really having a lot of, the middle, hour, I was having a lot of fun. But, I don't know.
John Little is great.
Yeah.
He looks so much like my friend facially. My friend doesn't have the Hagrid hair and beard. He's short hair, short ginger hair.
Him and I like.
He did have a Hagrid look. That's true.
The Friar was one of my favorite characters. Honestly,
he was on. I don't know if he was on the American version, but when they used to have "Whose Line Is It Anyway" in the UK, so it started off in the UK and then America picked it up.
The Friar was on it.
And he was on it, yeah. Michael
McShane.
I was going to say McShane. Is it McShane? I'm thinking.
Yeah, Michael McShane.
I'm happy to know he's done more stuff.
If it's not, I'll be surprised.
But no, he was on Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I remember watching him all the time when I was younger. And he's a good character, but
yeah, that's him. Michael McShane.
He had, dude. Speaking of Michael McShane, he had. Where half of his scenes he has an American accent, and then the other half he has what's that country English accent?
I think he's trying to do a Southwest accent. The one who's got a Southwest accent is Little John. Now listen to me, you daft old bugger. Right? That's
that wasn't Irish.
No.
Little John sounded Irish to me. I gotta brush up on my accent.
You right now.
If you think of pirates, the "Who are me?"
Yes.
Okay.
That's nothing to do with pirates. That's actually
That's actually an accent.
It's an actual accent. Okay.
That's a regional accent.
If I ever gave you a map that showed you a chart of where the accents are, you would lose your mind because there's literally hundreds of them.
That's wild.
And here in the States, we have maybe 12, 15.
12, 15.
Maybe 20 at most.
Minnesota is really weird.
Minnesota.
It sounds a bit Canadian.
What is your accent, Craig?
Non-existent.
He's got a regular English one.
Yeah, but you can actually say that with me. Normally,
but if someone from fucking 10 blocks away came to you,
Southern England, maybe accent kind of, maybe yes.
Yeah, I've heard. Here's the thing: I live in the Northeast,
but he lives in the North. Yeah,
yeah, and I've grown up here since I moved to England since I was a baby. So I was born in Germany.
I didn't know that. Fuck.
Yeah. But I've got a Welsh mum, but she doesn't have a Welsh accent either, really. But I've never picked up the Northeast twang, as we would call it. You got the local twang. You got the twang. I've never picked that up, and I've worked with people who are so Northeast, and they go, "Oh, you soft, posh, southern posh boy." I've been called that before when I was 19,
That's
working
wild.
in a factory. So I was working it with the roughest Northeast guys you can get, as Northeast is.
Is Northeast going to get a little rough?
It's an industrial.
I'm getting so sidetracked. I'll ask you about it.
It's an industrial region of the UK. So it's a lot of working class
Factories,
people, blue collar.
okay.
Yeah. And someone said that I sounded like I'm from the south. It's I've never been to London. Still haven't. There you go. I've never been to London.
Wow.
But no, a lot of people say I sound I'm from the south, but no one really mentions it anymore. But yeah, I just don't. I've just got such a nondescript accent.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I know.
Okay, cool.
If I ever make it to the UK, you should come to London, and we can both check it out for the first.
London would be sick. London would be sick.
Oh, me and you going to York, mate. First thing we're doing is I'm taking you.
You want to go to New York?
That's there's a city in northern England called York, which is New York is named after, I believe.
It is.
That would be a good little guy's trip to take, Brian.
It's
they should. So for us, it would be called Original York.
Original York. That's fucking great.
No, it'd be OG York.
OG, yeah. Yeah, but I've like it's the number one city in the UK I want to visit just because it looks so gorgeous.
It is.
Really?
It looks like a city where it's still the architecture in particular. It still looks like you're in like
Is it like Italy?
1500 something like that.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
It's named York from Jorvik, which essentially it was a Viking settlement.
I was gonna say that Jorvik. It sounds like Norse or something like that.
Yeah, so it was a Viking settlement. So there's a load of Viking. If you go in there as a tourist, there's a load of Viking stuff to go and see there.
All right, do you guys want to go through some scenes a little bit here?
You want to talk about Brian Blessed?
One of the ones shortly after
that scene was the worst scene in the whole movie.
What
the Brian
scene?
Blessed, the Brian Blessed scene. So, Quinn, do you know who Brian Blessed is?
No idea.
Okay, he was the
Brian Blessing.
It was
Blessed.
the scene. Brian Blessed.
Oh yeah, when he goes out to the fucking clans members, he just accepts his fate.
Yeah.
He's like,
But
I'm
no,
on a
it's-
horse. I definitely can't just ride back into my fucking boarded up castle. Let me just go out and
That apparently have
free
no men there to go out with him and challenge these
mention,
guys.
Yeah, no men there with him, first off. Secondly, just got done writing a letter saying I'll give anything to get my son out of these dire situations. All right, suicide. Like, what? What, like, you're going to do everything but fucking live?
Let's give up
all your wealth in your castle and just fucking let these people take over.
Well,
not a man of his word, man.
He says that he's got God on his side, and he says long live, so he thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks he's
I got God on my side too. You don't see me jumping off a fucking cliff. That dude was stupid.
He's in like a full-fledged castle too, and there's nobody comes out with him to be like, I'll back you up, my lord, or anything like that.
You saw the guys that came in; they were like 65 and 70.
Yeah, but it's a big freaking castle. Like,
Big ass
you gotta have
house.
some people there
he's just got
to
all the
enforce your
pensioners.
rule.
He's just got pensioners knocking around. It's like he hasn't really got them.
Yeah. I hated this scene so much. It was so bad.
I just thought you'd like it because Brian Blessed was in it.
I know, but that's what I was thinking when it happened. I was like, dude, it's Brian Blessed. This is gonna be great. And then the scene unfolds. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is literally terrible.
It's just that menace, and I don't get freaked out by many things at all. But when Alan Rickman's got the death mask on, just that sort of thing.
That was kind of cool. It was dope.
Yeah, but
the one time that we saw it, and then it never came back, and there was no explanation for the fucking clan suits or anything. No,
you see that a few times.
What the fuck is the point of wearing a mask if you're just going to take it off and reveal your identity?
In the sequel, Brian Blessed is back, and he's here to take on the American clan. I would love to see that movie.
I would watch that over this.
Tell me you wouldn't, Craig. You can't tell me you wouldn't want to see Brian Blessed take on the clan.
Against the Klansman. Especially if you got him on a horse that could actually, big enough that it could handle him, and he's just got this big sword.
I would pay to go see that. Yeah,
I'm trying to think if I've seen him in anything else. Apparently, he was in a bunch of Flash movies.
He was
in the Phantom Menace. Who does he play in Phantom Menace?
He was the Gungan guy, the Gungan guy, the fat Gungan guy that was ahead of the Gungans.
Okay.
That's just the way he talks. That is literally, Brian, you've seen him in a few things. That is just the way he talks, isn't it? It's just
that's like his... Other than the weird alien accent that he put on, I guess, but that's his actual voice. Yeah, he sounds like that for real.
He's just got this
weird alien accent.
I don't know what because he puts on an accent when he plays that.
Well, the noise you just made me think of was the alien from Futurama, Zoidberg.
Oh, Zoidberg.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he comes home, he rescues the boy Wolf out of the tree after Azim, and they've established why Azim won't leave him because he has to, by virtue of his religion, he has to honor paying back Robin for saving his life. So that's why he's sticking with him. So we get that.
Why was he not in England before?
Oh, you're talking about the Jerusalem scene when they both escape.
No, but, they do that.
So were they there fighting a war?
Yeah, the Crusades.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So a load of A load of Catholics went to go take back Jerusalem from Muslim ownership, basically, because religion.
Yeah.
Because religion.
Religion
That's
equals
the best
war.
way to say it. Because religion.
Yeah, like, what social economical advantage are we getting here? None, but a load of people are going to die, and it's going to cost us a fortune and nearly bankrupt the country.
It's going to deplete all our young men in Europe as well.
Yeah, there's going to be no one to raise a second generation.
Oh man,
good plan. Yeah, let's do it 3 times.
Didn't they do it 5 times? I thought there was more.
I know it's at least 3.
There was 3 big ones, that's for sure.
Yeah. I know there's at least 3 big ones.
But anyway, the opening scene is in Jerusalem, and I was actually shocked with it. I was like, "Whoa, we're starting off in Jerusalem. This is pretty cool."
Makes sense for.
But then it opened up,
and
see, the first 30 minutes of this movie really worried me. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. But then as it goes on, I'm like, especially the middle part, I was like, oh, this is really fun.
But, the cast keeps you hanging on. Certain cast members.
There's that scene in Jerusalem though. He's
This is English courage with the worst English accent ever.
Yes, he keeps mentioning English. Like, no, you're not English, Kevin.
I want to know what the fuck. Why wouldn't the director allow it? I wonder if he heard his accent and just thought it was bad.
No, that's it. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Is that like what they've gone on record to say?
He just couldn't do it. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. So I guess it is better.
I don't think he's gone on record of saying it, but it's like the director, they haven't gone
the director, on record, if the director is
like, give me some context here. He tried the English accent, but it wasn't very good.
I
believe he's American.
I would watch. I would smoke a joint and watch a documentary to that voice. That was perfect.
Those two, Kevin Costner and
Kevin,
good. The director, they did went on to do Waterworld, which went really well.
War of the Worlds, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking about
Did
Tom
they
Cruise?
work together before this movie too? Like it's
Fandango. There's a film called Fandango. I've not seen it.
Okay, I've never seen that either.
But yeah, I saw that in doing the research. They did a film called Fandango together. They did this one, and then they went and did Waterworld. So obviously there was no hardship there about
notoriously
like normally.
One of the worst
box office bombs.
War of
the Worlds was?
Waterworld.
Waterworld.
Oh, I never watched the Worlds. I was like, yeah, that is Tom Cruise.
I never watched Waterworld.
I haven't watched it, but I know it was the most. I think it was the most expensive film
made at that time.
Ever made up to that point, I think.
What is it about?
Except for
everything's in water.
The polar caps have melted.
It's kind of like think of Mad Max.
Except it's all water.
Except it's boats instead of people on land fighting for gas.
Fuck, the reviews are horrendous.
Yeah, it was.
He's looking it up right now.
It got really badly.
And I haven't even seen it, and I know that.
Too. Oh, boy. Guess what I'm not watching?
Guess what we're watching in 3 weeks' time?
I actually want to do that.
I think I can say unalive myself. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Kevin Reynolds, because he worked with Kevin Costner twice, but he had Michael Wincott back in one of my favorite movies, The Count of Monte Cristo, which is I looked at Kevin Reynolds' filmography, and dude, The Count of Monte Cristo is by far his best movie. By far.
Who do we got cast-wise in there?
Jim Caviezel, and one of my favorites. Why can't I think of his? He's one of my favorites. I just said he's one of my favorites. I can't even remember his fucking name. Oh, Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce. I love Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce is cool. Oh my God, what is that? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He plays the villain in it. That horrendous Sean Connery movie.
What, the one that made him retire?
Yeah, I'm like 90% Guy Pearce is the villain. Oh no, Guy Pearce. I'm thinking of Prometheus.
Pearce. He's in Prometheus. Yeah, he played the old man.
He plays the old man with the horrific makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad makeup.
Iron Man 3.
Count of Monte Cristo, Henry Cavill?
That was Henry Cavill's first movie, I think. I think he was like 15 years old. Yeah.
That convinces me.
But I'm sure you told me because you.
Oh, Michael Wincott's in it too? Yeah, bro. I'll watch this shit.
Yeah. I love Michael Wincott.
I love Louis Guzman. I'll watch that shit.
Nice.
I'd be
I'll be
interested
right
to
back.
see in that one how you view his character, because he's actually playing a serious role in it.
Who?
He's
Luis
Guzman.
Guzman. He's
Yeah,
funny, man. I
he
love
is.
him.
That's why he's
a
always
funny
playing
motherfucker.
he's always in comedy roles, but in that one it's serious. Like he's
Yeah, this cast is pretty stacked, bro.
yeah.
Give this
We
a
might
watch.
do that at some point, but I'm keeping that one in my back pocket for you guys.
I love that.
Let's see what else we can talk about this movie with. Wait a minute. Do you remember like when they first introduced? Well, not when they introduced Alan Rickman's character, but when they.
You got it.
I got
Fresh
it in my
brain.
brain. So Alan Rickman, it's the first time we really get to know his character in a way, and he's walking around his castle, and he's got like a lair underneath, and he's messing around, and then he has his like some of his goons bring in a statue, and he's like, this is yes, and then he puts it down, and it's a statue of himself.
Class A fucking narcissist. Great way to introduce the character. Get a little bit more of a formal introduction.
Yeah, and then as you go further into the lair, and there's like pools of like green misty water, and then there's a fucking witch in there, and I just went, what the fuck is going on?
It felt like I was watching Sam Raimi's Army of Darkness, which will be a pick soon enough for me. You'll see what I mean when I convince everyone to watch this movie together. But yeah, the witchy aspect was a little wild, and then the witch at the end of the movie was like, fucking completely impaled.
But when you go into her lair, we'll call it a lair. Like she's got the upside down.
It was lairish.
I was gagging. I was physically gagging while I was watching a certain scene with the witch when she's just playing with her fucking spit. Oh my god, I was gagging.
Throwing it in. And she's also throwing the runes on. But no, it sets up why it's a sort of setup to why he's so evil.
There's too much spit play in this movie. There's a lot of spit. There's the one scene where Kevin Costner's brother that we find out is like laying on the floor. One of the soldiers just like fucking drools all over him.
I saw that,
cut his head off.
He's about to cut his head off before, but he's like,
there's always room for one
There's
more.
a lot of spit in this movie. There's a lot of people spitting on each other. You got the witch fucking fiddling with their spit. I think the director's got a weird spit fetish, man. This guy's a fucking
Alan
freak.
Rickman was spitting a lot too.
He was,
especially on his way out with the death scene.
That was just his whole.
That shit makes me gag. I don't know what it is, but like it was making me gag bad.
Out of everything, I'm surprised spit is the one thing that would make you gag.
Love you, Craig.
We do.
You too, buddy. Okay. Introduction of Maid Marian. What did you guys think of that?
This is the female Kevin Costner.
Oh, you mean when she was in the armor and she pretended to be like a knight or whatever it was?
And then she's kicking extreme ass, and then 2 seconds later, she's a fucking damsel who's like, you bullied me! You put my hair on fire! I don't like you!
You know what's funny about this? As Quentin keeps talking about stuff from this movie, like, it sounds like he kind of enjoyed it, but then as he keeps talking about it, I think his rating is getting lower and lower.
I had a rating that I went into this thinking about, but when I talk about certain characters, that like really annoyed me. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm going to say this.
Shoot.
Regardless of what you've said about, I, as characters, completely believe that because of their chemistry, that there was something there with Marian and Robin Hood. I really genuinely thought,
I don't think that their chemistry was necessarily bad. I just found her character very annoying. And there was a particular shot later in the movie where she's running down the hall after he's like, you have no choice. You have to marry me. And she puts out this scream of like overacting that was so horrible. And then you just see her waddling away in this dress that just makes her look like, I don't know. She's just screaming and running. She's like, ah! And it was just like an overacting, like I can't with her.
Is this also when you saw an ass flash?
No, that's a different scene. I'll fucking play you the scene later because it's hysterical.
Am I the only person that saw the ass flash though?
I did, but I think that they were like pantyhose when he's taking her up the stairs and she just like throws her shit to the side and you see the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Watched it at least 20 times. Never noticed that. The only
You
ass I've
didn't?
seen
No
on this,
way.
only ass I've seen on this is Kevin's.
It's like it's when Alan Rickman has her and she's in that like white dress and he's dragging her up the stairs, like the beginning of it. And then it looks like she throws the dress to the side to reveal a little bit of ass cheek or something like that. And I'm like, I was like, she definitely didn't do that on her own. She was told to do that.
It seemed too
it seemed too intentional.
To me. Yeah.
I am going to have to completely disagree with you about like the start of it. When I meant her getting introduced, when they go to her, when they actually go to visit her, because they've been to Robin's house, the castle, and it's just decimated. So they go there because he's sworn to Peter to protect her. So he goes there to visit her to bring her the news of her brother's passing, and like they have that fight, and it's not like she picks him up and like gives him a rock bottom or something. You know, she's got a freaking sword and he's got no weapons at all. And he does fucking launch her across the room.
Burns her hand.
It's only when he burns her hand, and that's when she screams. He takes the mask off. He's shocked to see her. And then because he's distracted because Morgan Freeman and Duncan come in, and then she just knees him in the balls. And that's when he goes, "Oh, it's you. Hello, Marian." And then they steal her horse, but she's so upset about her brother. But then she's resourceful afterwards when Guy of Gisborne and the Nottingham soldiers come, and they're nicking the horses, and they're obviously fleeing for their lives. But she's resourceful. She's got the smarts and the wherewithal to just say, "No, you imbecile! They're stealing my horse."
Yeah, I don't think she's stupid. I just think that she was pretty badass and had some moves. And knows how to change very fast into a fucking full suit of armor. But she was badass. And then throughout the rest of the entire movie, anytime she's in a damsel situation, she's helpless. She fought Robin Hood for a good minute there pretty damn well. It wasn't just the scene of him coming in and kicking her ass. Like there was a lot of...
Whose ass is she going to kick? Because she's trying to maintain her
station. I don't know, her rapist?
Well, she throws when the guy goes. I've never. She gets pinned down. She
literally screams and runs the entire time.
No, when I get that, the guy's going to rape her and says, "I've never seen a noble woman's breast before."
No,
the first thing she does is throw fucking.
I'm talking about Snape at the end. Oh, he's just dragging her around like she's a rag doll. She's just screaming for help.
The guy's psychotic.
I know.
He could have stabbed him about 50 times.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Here's what they showed her being a badass in the very first scene. And go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that Quentin is referring to like you can have one or the other. Like if a guy at the end of the film is manhandling her with ease, like she can't really do anything, but in the very beginning of the movie, you have the the hero, and she's like fighting him to a draw for a minute straight. Well, like it's
not to mention he can take out crazy amounts of people.
But, I probably worded that bad, but
no, I think
it's one. It's another one of those power level arguments that I had
wearing
last
armor and a sword, and she's not just watched all these people that she's come to love and care about. That she thinks everyone's going to die, and now she's going to lose her livelihood. Her cousin, who's the king, is now going to lose the throne, and she's going to be some fucked up sex slave. Let's be honest. We've seen what he's been up to.
She's going to be Jabba's Leia.
Denalia.
If I had a high enough voice, I'd do Salacious Crumb's laugh. I can't do it. No. There's my favorite Star Wars character.
I don't know. I see what Quentin's saying though, because like
it's not like the end.
Once you establish a power level, you have to keep it.
I prefer a strong character, and to me, that's what I thought I was getting, which kind of intrigued me into her character. And then for the rest of the film, she's whining and bitching the entire time.
Well, she's not. She's tenacious. When they when they end up going to the to see Kevin Costner taking a bath, like she straight away grabs the guy and pulls a knife and puts it to his throat.
Yeah.
And who's your employer? And then they demand she's got some nouns to her. It's not like
she got some what? No, I agree with you. I think that she was clever. I don't know. That might be a small quirk on my part, but I don't know. It's just one of those small things where it's like, yeah,
you're not wrong.
It doesn't ruin the movie for me. Like my score, I hope you don't think my score is going to be like dog shit. Like, I definitely got my problems with this movie, but I did find myself enjoying a lot of it, like the middle part of it.
Just to get back into a bit of continuity, so where they steal her horses, they're giving chase. So you've got Azim and Duncan on one horse. You've got Kevin on the other, and his horse is being shot in the ass.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Wait a minute! No, wait! Stop! I'm sorry. I was dying at this scene that you're talking about here. Can we rewind a little bit?
Yeah.
This fucking scene, and it killed me. It almost took me out of the movie for a while. So Kevin Costner's the reaction to the looking glass. I was,
bro.
He literally goes, oh shit, and pulls out his sword like he's gonna fight somebody while he's still holding this thing up. I'm like,
while he's
what
falling.
is this Muppetry, dude?
But then Azim just looks at him and goes, how did your people ever take Jerusalem?
That was a good line. That was a good line, I thought. Yeah, how did you uneducated people take Jerusalem?
Do you know what? Morgan Freeman is so understated in this film. Like he's so good.
I thought he was good.
But
I would have liked more of Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
when have you ever? Which one of you can say I saw Morgan Freeman and his performance was bad?
Never.
I don't. If there is one, I'd like to know because I don't think there is.
Oh, there will be one, but there'll be one because I know he's been acting for like ever, so he's going to have plenty of younger things. But no. But
this isn't the only thing in the scene though that's wild. Do you remember the? So they steal the horses like you said, and then he on the way out, he slaps Mary's ass.
I fucking knew you were gonna bring that up. That's actually what I thought you were gonna say before.
That was good.
Gives her a slap on the ass.
Yeah, he gives her a little slap on the ass. But then it's not over. Then he gets on the Morgan Freeman yells at him, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." So he gets on his horse, and then he almost stabs it to death with the sword. Did you see that? Like
when it's swirling around,
he's trying to whip it like one of those horse jockeys. Yeah, and he does it with the sword, but it looks like he almost stabs the fucking thing.
For someone that is as skilled in combat as him. Every scene that I see him in where he has a sword, he looks like he has no fucking idea what he's doing. Every scene. And he's supposed to be super trained. I don't know. That just could be me bitching. I thought he looked great with the bow, as Robin Hood should.
That's what
I was just about to say that. He looked great.
Yeah, with the bow, fantastic. But the sword scenes, man, he seemed a little careless.
Well, as soon as you said that, the little history buff in my head came out. So this is 1194, I think it said. So the nobility in England have been French for the last 130 years. So he's got horse meat.
That's too good.
Just in case you don't know, Quentin, the French eat horse meat.
Still?
Yep.
I mean, I'm not opposed. Like if it tastes good and it's legal, I'd try it.
Yeah,
they also do something to geese as well. What's the geese thing?
Foie gras, where they force feed geese, so it makes their liver fatty, so they can take the liver out, and then they just I don't know what they do. I think mash it up, and it's pate. So that's what pate is.
Interesting.
Foie gras is pate, which is goose liver, which is
probably wouldn't try that because it seems like animal cruelty if they're just
it is. There's a big problem with that.
That's actually a pretty definitive description of animal cruelty in a specific form.
I would try horse though if I was in a legal country. Like just to be like, all right, and I knew it wasn't, fucking
Yeah.
abused.
I'm sure I've had it because there was a big horse meat scandal about 15 years ago.
In the UK?
Yeah, where companies were making like ready meals, stuff like that. They were not getting the sourcing of their animal meat was very suspect, and then when it got independently DNA tested, so they got all these ready meal dishes tested the actual animal meat, and it was like it's supposed to be like beef, and then people are fucking eating.
Are you actually eating those on stream, you fucking barbarian? Jesus Christ!
Just a peppercini.
Oh God, well, yeah, but
that was my last
chewing.
one.
We can hear you chewing.
I had to fish it out. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You've been thinking about that for the last 20 minutes.
He's a dude. No idea. He was like, I could see his face too. I was like, what is he doing? Because he had this look in his face. He's like,
I just ate an entire jar of these bad boys.
Dude.
Yes,
that jar was full before we turned on the camera for our first talk. Before this, that went on for 2 hours.
I fuck with my
disappeared, came back with that, and we've watched them. If anyone wonders what I'm actually doing, I'm eating every stream. Creature of Habit, Haribo Gold Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are iconic.
So after he almost stabs this horse to death by accident, by trying to make it go faster, later when he gets off the horse in the forest, he pulls an arrow out, but it's like,
no, he pulls it out,
your horse can still ride with that arrow that was in there.
You need to keep that horse around, man.
How much do you know about horse anatomy? How do you know the horse?
Not really a lot. You got me there.
What if the horse liked the arrow in its ass? That's the question we all need to be asked.
So you mean it's into BDSM? Because there's, but no, they have to go into.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
what did you say?
Were you about to talk about like donkey shows?
No mules.
You sick fuck.
We're moving swiftly on. You dirty.
Anyway, this is the part where they get to the.
Do you know what?
This is the part where they get to the.
No. That's how you get syphilis.
Oh my god!
No, the witch was. It's all right. We'll take it.
Oh, have I ruined your joke?
It's all right. I stole yours last week. It's all right. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
But they go into Sherwood Forest, which they believe to be haunted.
Oh yeah, when they walk into Fangorn Forest.
Yeah, Fangorn Forest.
I was gonna say that the part that I was gonna refer to was when Michael Wincott, who I love, they're in the forest hiding, and he comes to the edge of the forest and just goes, just starts screaming.
He's a trick, dude.
They make his teeth look fucking manky as shit as well.
I swear, he has to do some hard fucking drugs. As good as an actor as he's in, every movie I have seen him in, which has only been 3. The Crow, he was shooting up dope. This movie, he looks like he just loves heroin. And then, no, he always looks like he was like a 70s fucking, or like Motley Crue era rock star that just did way too many drugs. And they just got that fucked up voice because of it now. But I love him. I think he's fantastic.
I can't state enough how much I love Michael Wincott, and I'm actually like, I'm glad he's still around, but I wish that he would have so many more movie roles. The guy is incredibly talented, and that voice, he's so if he he's top dollar in The Crow. He's in a movie which might be a pick soon for me as well.
What is it?
Which actually has Morgan Freeman. It's Along Came a Spider, where
he's also in that Monte Cristo one you were just talking about, right?
Yeah, he is. He has a smaller role in that. He usually plays small roles, but when he does get more elevated in the cast system, he usually plays like a main villain or something.
Like The Crow.
He was in the Three Musketeers, the one that I'm not too fond of it, but it was the one with Charlie Sheen and Chris O'Donnell and those
Is that
guys.
the one with Rod Stewart and Bryan Adams and I think it's Sting or something like that? They do the soundtrack.
I can't remember that part. We're not as musically
inclined as
you, yes. unfortunately. To our
Sting
to our shame.
Sting's an interesting movie. That's Todd. What's his name? Right?
I was talking about the musician.
Yeah, I remember I was
Oh.
watching that HBO show that it only ran like a few seasons, but that first season I loved with Anthony Hopkins, Westworld.
Oh,
And Michael
it ran for like
Wincott.
3, but apparently
I have friends that
Yeah.
swear by that show.
The first season is very, very good.
But then it takes the shit.
But then it immediately
I
takes
heard the
a
second
giant
season's good,
nosedive.
and then season 3 just...
Gotcha.
I didn't like season 2.
It went like Amelia Earhart. There you go.
Season
There's
2
a
is the one that
joke
killed it for me. But anyway, Michael Wincott shows up in that.
That was good.
And I hadn't seen him in anything in like 6 or 7 years, and I went, "Oh shit, it's my boy!"
This is my boy.
And he barely has a scene, but he's one of Anthony Hopkins' like original like robotic creations that he keeps around as like a relic, and it like says like 5 or 6 things, and and Michael Wincott just kills it as that robot. He actually moves like he would.
I could see him
like a robot that's been sitting around for 500 or 600 years. You
mean they look like the robot had been doing heroin?
Give me some WD-40.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, he's like.
There's a few actors that are like him that like you want more of, but it's almost you don't because it's such a treat when you see them in something.
Here's one that'll shock you guys.
Mahershala Ali is mine. Go ahead.
But here's one that'll shock you guys if you didn't know, if you guys play video games. Michael Wincott is the original voice of the Prophet of Truth in Halo 2.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm an Nintendo boy.
Does that blow your mind, Quentin?
That's insane. I mean, he has a voice
His
for it.
raspy voice. There are those who
is
said this day would
insane.
never come. What are they to say now?
I need to replay Halo 2.
Halo 2 is my favorite
Fucking
one.
great game. Yeah, the campaign is legendary, bro.
Best
I remember
campaign.
co-op with me and my brother, bro. We could run that shit nonstop over and over and over again. Never get tired.
All right.
No,
go ahead, Craig.
No, complete nonsense.
I was gonna. Okay. What else can we talk about here? I wrote down Robin Hood slices Alan Rickman's face with a letter. Hold on, wait. So Robin Hood slices Alan Rickman's face with a letter opener. I specifically wrote that word letter opener because it's this tiny little thing. And then he uses the same thing to cut down a 5-inch thick rope to escape.
That's wild.
I was like, that fucking little letter opener would not cut that rope with one swing. There's no way that would happen.
It was enchanted.
They needed letter openers in let's just say 1200.
I'm not stressing that they had letter openers. I'm stressing how small the fucking
it was like a little dagger, right? Yeah.
But no, so they so he sneaks his way into church. He sees the priest that I'm going to say priest.
Yikes! Yeah.
That he used to go to, bishop, whatever the fucking.
That's the type of priest that does do the touching.
But he goes and speaks to Marian covertly. He goes upstairs, lets himself known that he's back, and then.
I'm sorry, it was a delayed reaction to what Quentin said.
I was wondering. I was looking at the chat. I was like,
"It wasn't you."
Okay, no, I know what you're laughing at now. Yeah, no, he definitely does. He's got a litany of altar boys. There's some There's some skeletons buried around the back somewhere.
Little boy skeletons.
Keep going. I got
Yeah, so they have Robin go up to meet him. They have that little exchange. When he opens the door, the sheriff's there. He slices his face open after he's screaming, "Do not spill blood in the house of God." And then Robin just slams the door in his face after he opens it up. And the two people he would not want to see any less is the sheriff and his cousin, Michael Wincott. And they run out. So he runs out, goes into the second room, all the guards have run in, and he gets his letter opener, and then he cuts the rope, and it's just like 1950s swashbuckling.
That Indiana Jones type shit. I did enjoy that a lot. I did enjoy that.
And then, I know Brian can hear this, but he can't reply. One of the lines of the film, Loxley, I'm going to cut your heart out with a spoon!
And that's not the first or that's not the last time we'll hear that in this film.
But then it goes,
Michael Wincott's shit. Go ahead.
Why a spoon, cousin? When he's eating something.
Yes.
Why a spoon, cousin? Because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more. And this is when he's getting his bloody axe wounds cleaned up.
And then something that I really did like. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, and it's just got those little lines that he's put in, and he's saying about, he's just talking about Robin Hood, and he just looks at him and he goes, "And keep the stitches small." And he just
the way he talks, like even when Robin Hood was escaping, Alan runs outside and yells, "Close that gate!"
And then not only that, he then punches the shit out of the guard who was at the gate, who gets knocked over by Robin.
He picks him up and punches him again.
He literally punches him about 7 times. But as the guy falls, he lands on his cape, and so it can't have been planned. There's no way this was planned. And then he's trying to walk away. The back of his cape gets caught up because the guard's lying on it. And he sort of like trips a little bit, and then just carries on anyway.
I wonder if that was an accident.
I've got to believe it is. I don't think there's any way they could have fucking planned that, because he goes up to it. He just beats his ass. I'm willing to bet 1 or 2 of those shots landed, because he is not a trained, action actor. He's he's just an act. He's just like a sort of thespian Shakespearean actor. I bet 1 or 2 of them landed, but he just kept going just to get the ticket, and then just everyone else just runs away, and he just manically runs off.
Dude, there's one part of this. Well, actually, I'll wait for that one for Quentin, because I want to see if he picks up on UK slang. But there's what else is here in my notes here? Oh, Rickman's fucking. Dude, what is it? What is that scene where Alan Rickman's talking to somebody? I think it's his like assistant or something. The guy with the
your little ferret, where he's saying the call of Christmas.
It's I actually have the quote here. It's and it's because of people who he's like, I can't believe the people love this Robin Hood character, and then he just goes, cancel the kitchen scraps for the lepers and orphans, no more merciful beheadings, and call off Christmas.
And slams the door.
Yeah,
it's the way he looks up, he just goes, he's making me hurt them and take their stuff, and you are telling me he loves them. And well, yes, I am. He just smacks a drink into his face, and that's when he does that line.
Yeah.
Then he storms. I think that's the bit where he storms out, and I think is this the bit where he chases after him?
This is with the girls, I think.
And then this is.
I wrote this down too.
He's saying about but sire, we need safe passage to London. It's the only road to London, you little ferret. And then they get up to the statue, and someone's drawn the scar with the little stitches.
Oh, I didn't notice that. And
that's what he goes up to, and he grabs his hat off him, spits on it, and he's trying to rub the thing off.
More spit.
More spit. He's right. There's going to be a lot more spit too, because he says, "You 10:30 tonight. You 10:45. Bring a friend." Dude, I fucking died.
That is my favorite line in the film. But it's not only that. There's a pause. He goes, "You, my room, 10:30. You 10:45. Bring a friend." It's just a little pause, and he is. I've never seen. Do you know what I was gonna say? I've never seen Rickman as a comedic actor. I have. He's got so many good lines in.
He does.
In Galaxy Quest, which is the best Star Trek film. And there's a bunch of good lines in Love Actually. You know, think of that what you will. But he's like, oh my God, that was so fucking funny. It's just that you 10:45.
There's some like really memorable lines in this actually. You know what my fucking
Most of
favorite
them
one
come
was?
from Alan Rickman too.
I can't. If it's not that,
Most
I
of them
can't.
do. There's a and I don't know if you guys picked up on this. Probably Craig probably did since he's our British friend. But Robin Hood's gang is giving out bread, and a woman throws a bag of gold to a guy, and he says, "God bless your fanny."
No shot. Was it the friar?
But then it wasn't until later on that I realized that that woman's name is Fanny.
Fanny. I was just gonna say.
But I think it's pretty obvious that Quentin doesn't know. But Fanny in the UK means
That's
pussy.
your butt.
No, it's pussy in the UK. Yeah.
Here it refers to as
so
like your fanny.
So when I've heard that, I was literally thinking he was saying, "God bless your pussy."
He might.
That's insane.
God bless you, Fanny, and God bless.
Yeah, a lot of Americans don't know that because we think Fanny is the ass.
The ass. Yeah. No, Fanny is like a. It's. I've heard you hear adult women say it.
That's
or, you know, fair bit. It's just more like a. Weirdly enough, it's more of like a crass way of saying pussy. I know it's going to sound weird, but it's going. Oh, my fanny's really itchy. It's.
What's wrong with her, Fanny?
Cystitis.
This is probably why our channel doesn't grow like we want to, because we say so much sexual shit.
Happily married man. But if I was ever with a woman from the UK and she referred to her vagina as a fanny, I would be appalled. That is one of the most unattractive things I have ever fucking heard in my life. Like, is that common, like, in sexual situations? She's like, yeah, you like that fanny? That fanny feel nice.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, you pan that little fanny. That's insane.
If they spoke like that, it would be. If they spoke like Dick Van Dyke.
That's fucking crazy.
No, I don't. To my memory, I don't remember hearing that. I'm not saying I haven't, but I just genuinely don't remember hearing that. But
God.
I've seen some like in the past some ropey UK porn. It's like I'm sure that's been said. Do you know that scene on the In-Betweeners, Brian, where he's fucking Neil's fucking the dinner lady, and she's going, "Oh, give it to me, lover. Oh, come on."
Well,
she's the sort of woman
like
who goes,
Johnny
go on,
Vegas.
bang it in me fanny. That's the sort of person that you would.
Holy God!
I've never been that. I've never been with a dinner lady.
I think it just like curled up in my body. Like it's gone. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. If I ever make it to America, like come visit you guys and like end up having meeting some of your friends and end up having a one night stand. If they ever say to me, "Go and put it in my fanny," I'm just going to go, "Oh fuck, I'm lost."
It was almost because I didn't know that character's name.
Yeah, she's called Fanny because Little John later screams Fanny.
Yeah. It was like crazy, what was that movie? Was it Football Factory? Is that the one with Danny Dyer?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a opening there. It's like only a couple minutes into the movie, and like him and his buddy bring home like 2 girls for the night, and he's like touched the girl, and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see that Fanny." And I just died. I fucking floored. I had to pause that movie for 2 minutes. I was like, "Holy shit."
I wonder how that got separated across.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because that's pretty hard.
It didn't get separated. We just turned it around on the other side of the butt. Yeah, like for us, it's the ass. Like I don't know what happened there.
We were looking that way, and you were looking that way, and we were still calling it the same thing.
Yeah. Damn, man. What else do you guys want to talk about with this film?
Oh God!
The ending fucking battle scene we got. I mean, once we get to it, we'll get there, but that's towards the end. But that sword fight fucking scene, I want to talk about.
Well, there's another battle scene.
There's a few.
What are we referring to?
The one in the forest where they burned down a lot of stuff.
That I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed that battle scene,
except for the forest fire artillery. I just
feel like they should have started with that. You know, like if that. Like, why not start?
Well, it would have taken him forever to get that shit there. Because that stuff takes a lot of manpower to drag it there.
It's like, why not do that initially?
Simple reason. It was the Celts. It was the Celts. So they had mercenary thugs. The less that they had,
but why send them in if you could just burn down the whole fucking forest and, you know?
So you're taking out as much of them as you can before you do that. And then when you use that, you've got less... You're killing less people. You've got all this artillery. Still got all this artillery.
Yeah, but the artillery is coming from up above. So let's burn down the fucking tree houses that Robin Hood and his band of degenerates. Yeah, like let's burn that down, right? So then they don't have the advantage on. I mean, the movie doesn't take itself too seriously. I think I'm thinking from a different perspective. Never mind. Yeah, you're good.
You're thinking of the Battle of Endor, where it's way more serious.
How about
I love the setup where
what death?
Not a specific death. I wrote down pain or death. It was Alan Rickman.
God, yes. God,
that was great.
Let's talk about that one.
That was fucking great. Pain or death. So he asked remember when he has the Quentin? Remember when he has?
What does he say when he walks in? What's the first thing he says when he walks in? So he's got.
What scene are we talking about here?
This is after that battle. After that battle where they've got all the they've taken all the prisoners. They've got them all in the dungeon, and Alan Rickman walks in, comes in, folds his arms, and what does he say?
Pain or death?
Remember?
I don't know.
No. He walks in, so you've got all the people like chained up. He comes in, walks in. Sorry to keep you hanging around.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that's easy. Let's get to the good part, man.
No, that is a fucking great line. Because sorry to keep you hanging around. Would you prefer pain or death?
Yes.
Death. Torture him. Would you prefer pain or death? Pain. Torture him. You see, doesn't make a difference. He's just.
That's great.
Obviously, I'm not doing it any justice.
Maybe you accidentally skipped that scene. I
don't skip anything. I watched it through and through. That's strange.
It's
like I would have remembered that.
And this is where
it reminded me of the death or exile scene from Dark Knight Rises with Cillian Murphy.
Do you know what? Yeah. I completely get that. I absolutely understand what you mean by that.
Yeah. Death or exile, and the guy goes, and what is it? Gary Oldman goes, do whatever you're gonna do, and he goes, okay, you've chosen death by exile.
Scarecrow, right?
Yeah.
Scarecrow and Gary Oldman still to this day. I'm never going to change it.
Gary Oldman's a great
favorite actor ever.
Gary Oldman's fantastic.
That's a good favorite actor to have.
Yeah. Just everything except Tiptoes. It's brilliant. I
never saw.
No, so that scene we were talking about, the whole pain or torture thing. So pain or death. That's where. Just so you know, Quintano, this is for you. It's where he then Will Scarlet tells him that he can get to him, and he turns his head upside down, and he's saying, "If you're lying to me, I will personally remove your tongue." It's that scene. So where Will Scarlet's like hanging upside down. So it's when he walks into there, and then Will Scarlet says that I know.
Yeah, I know the scene. I just didn't remember the pain or death part.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I felt like I would have fucking loved. Yeah, that would have been funny.
I'm actually shocked you don't remember that because that was very.
That's what I'm trying to. Yeah.
It was basically when the villain was like the villain takes his time to troll people.
Yeah.
But when they've lost all that money, when Robin Hood and his gang are still in the woods, and all the money gets taken. So this is before he kills Guy of Gisborne. So when they do all that, like sieging them and like grab them, put them in the rugs covered in leaves, blah blah blah.
Yep.
In that scene, After
did
that,
like that scene a lot.
And he kills him, and he goes, "At least I didn't use a spoon."
Yeah.
This is good steel.
I caught
that. In that scene, he then walks into Mortiana's lair, and he walks up to her. So she's there. And she's got like the upside down cross, at the satanic altar, and it turns
pentagram?
out, say again.
You're talking about the pentagram?
No, she's got an upside down cross.
Okay.
So essentially, it was weirdly enough, everyone thinks it's a satanic cross because it's upside down. It's like, no, that was the cross of Peter for hundreds of years because Peter was crucified upside down.
Upside down, feet up, head down.
Yeah, so that it was literally never intentionally meant to be a satanic thing. That was something that came up in the 1950s or 60s that then became some sort of
sort of ploy for the Exorcist movies.
yeah, effectively,
right?
Along those lines. But he just goes up. He goes up to the bloody up to where she is, and he just there's raw meat because she's feeding all the she's got bats and shit and crows and shit. He just picks up a knife and he starts going on the fucking
I remember that.
And then she just goes, "Something vexes thee." It's just the way she doesn't react, but the way he's just that's who his character is. He's just that fucking manic.
He kind of reminds me of, and this, I don't know. You guys probably wouldn't think so, but I'll throw it out there anyway. He kind of acts like Alan Rickman as this guy. It's kind of like the villain version of what Johnny Depp would do with Jack Sparrow a little bit, where he's kind of just
he's a bit kook because he's kooky.
Yeah,
he's definitely crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe a little bit.
Yes, I could see it in the scene where he was like, "You 10:30, 10:45, and then bring a friend." Like that, I could see.
Oh, what? No, what about the scene where he's drunk? So he's got Maid Marian to agree to marry him.
Yeah.
So his scribe is writing out, "How is your bride?" And she's like, "Oh, she's so happy." And then I've got all my gold back. This is after the siege in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just swims out onto the table. He's just got all the gold. He's knocked it everywhere. And this is when the little scribe he's just trying to help out. He's picking up all the coins off the floor. He's like, "I can do that," And the scribe, because Mortiana told him earlier in the film to take his tongue, and I actually thought that he did for the longest time, but she hasn't because he's just not saying anything. So what he's doing is not saying anything, or that's what I think.
So that way she doesn't remember to cut off the tongue.
Yeah, it's either that or they gave him something to. Well, no, they kind of give him something to drink to make him not talk because it's not that occult. But he picks up a knife, so it looks like he's going to do it, and then you don't see him talk until at the end when he's going up the stairs that way. He does talk, but he's just not saying anything. He's just sort of "I'm not going to fucking lose my life, here."
Yeah.
And then Alan Rickman is blind drunk. And then he just goes up and all you hear is this, and you just see the candles, flutter a bit. And then he finds out that there's a peeping hole. That Mortiana's been looking through. But then you just see you see that, but then his finger goes. It's a super close up of it. It's actually really funny when you see it because you see his eye and then he just pokes his finger in, moves it around, and then he just, "Have you been spying on me?" And he's not speaking, and he's just terrified for his life. And then you just see Alan Rickman's face just drain, and he's like, "No." He just fucking runs downstairs. "Well, you can shove all that, you old fake."
Mm-hmm.
He's so deliciously fucking much of a bastard in this film. It's fantastic. He truly makes this film. So yeah, he's
Good
kidnapped
part.
Maid Marian. They've taken the siege. They think Robin Hood's dead. It turns out he isn't. They release Will Scarlet after giving him lashes. Release him back to go and infiltrate the camp to let Robin Hood know this is what's going to happen. Will Scarlet reveals that they're actually brothers. So the woman that his dad left him for, who is mentioned earlier in the film, the peasant woman, was Will's mother. So they are brothers, like half brothers. They know all their kids and family are going to die. They all decide to go ruin the wedding, basically. So we've got this wedding going on between Marian, which she's been forced into. Otherwise, people are going to die, which, again, Alan Rickman makes that so abundantly clear with his deliciously evil, acting and dialogue when they bring a bunch of kids in and it's like, she never knows how, delicate life can be. And, he's just basically telling Marian, you don't marry me, I'm going to kill these kids. And he would. We've established this guy will.
He'd probably kill the kids even afterwards anyway.
Yeah, probably. And the whole point of this is so the Lords of England, he's brought them all together to unite under him. He's trying to buy them off. All the money's been nicked by Robin Hood, which he then gets back. But he has to take royal blood as a wife, which is why he's marrying Marian, because she's King Richard's cousin. So he's after the throne. So they've all the prisoners are going to be hung as part of the wedding ceremony, and this is what Robin Hood and his gang of merry men have to come in and sort out. So Quentin, you've been wanting to talk about this battle scene. Let's do it.
I don't know if they were trying to make it funny, because a lot of this movie I realize I have to take for its like comedic value. There's some really good humor in this, small little part, but when they finally, I think this is kind of when they start going at it, but you see Kevin Costner actually see the scar that's on the statue when he actually makes a little head nod and smiles at it. I thought that was good.
That's later on, yeah.
There's bits of repeating humor in this movie that I really, really did like certain scenes that it wasn't just like a funny scene, like they would nod to it later on. Like, for instance, the heart and the spoon, the statue was nice little comedic relief. But like this fucking fight scene, like I said before, dude, it's like beginner's intro to parkour. There was a lot of jumping around, a lot of falling, a lot of Kevin Costner just kind of rolling around on the ground trying to recover while getting chased around, throwing statues at each other. And then there's fucking benches that are made of this strong English wood that they're talking about that are as light as a feather. When they get tossed at him, he's just like, it literally like bounces off of him. Like in that scene from Ghostbusters when that giant fucking boulder falls.
Yeah, dude, that's not English. I've never had English oak as furniture, but I've had friends who've had it. It's expensive and it weighs a fucking ton.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even the biggest problem in the world. I'm just saying, like, for an end battle scene, for the big bad against, our hero here, I just wanted it to be, I don't know, choreographed half decent. But it was just a lot of shit, I felt like. It was just chaotic mess. There wasn't a single part. There was literally, like, I'm watching this scene for probably more than 5 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like, and when I'm watching a movie and I'm waiting for parts of it to be over, that's not a good sign. The parts of this movie that I enjoyed were the comedic, even some of the lighthearted moments, between John Little and Kevin Costner, Robin Hood.
Their fight scene was great.
Yeah, it's just like funny. It was like kind of lighthearted.
I can't let you swim.
This movie, I felt like.
I like that part too. Yeah. The fight in the road.
And they trip him up with the rope.
It's that middle section of the movie that I really loved. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like it was two different directors, but I felt like at certain points of this movie, it tried to take itself really serious. And then other times it was like a comedy, and I'm cool with that to a degree. But it felt too much like it was going back and forth to the point where I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching anymore. It wasn't for me. But that battle scene in particular, I don't know if you guys want to touch on that a little bit, but that's where I was at when I watched that battle scene. I was just kind of waiting for it to be over and for them to get up off the fucking floor.
I kind of wanted to talk about what got us there when they actually get into the castle. So when we've got the actual hangings and it's the actual shot that was on all the VHS videos was Robin Hood with the flaming arrow. That was the poster. That was,
Yeah, the one where they're fighting in the forest, right?
In the courtyard.
The explosion is behind them. Okay.
Yeah, it's that, but it's in the courtyard.
Gotcha.
So it's where Azim's made during the plan. Azim's made up. I don't know how he's got this tiny little pestle and mortar, and he's making up this like black powder. He's making gunpowder.
Yeah.
But then somehow they've got like 3 massive barrels of it ready to go. And
that is interesting.
The next day, 3 massive barrels. But we can movie magic. Yeah, Azim he was doing double time. They get themselves in the castle, and it's a little bit convoluted. They have one of the guys dress up as the one of the Celts because they've got their bloody next to one of their outfits. They've all got their swords, and they've got this plan to just once they're going to hang them.
Why wait for that? I gotta ask.
Well, he even said, "Well, they don't know this, but he does actually say, tell the executioner, I want no broken necks." So he wants them hanged. So at least they've got, they don't know that, but at least there's that.
It's still a pretty risky chance to be taking with John Little's son that's up there. No. It's like,
well, to be fair, he's going to be the only one, probably the one that would live because he's not
lighter
his neck because he's not.
Yeah, but why take the chance? I'm still trying to figure out why the fuck did he want to wait until there were actually people hanging?
They were waiting for the right chance, and I can't remember at which point.
There was nothing that changed significantly in that scene for them to be like, "Oh, this is the right moment."
Will Scarlett gets the because he was waiting for he wanted Azim to just blow the thing up.
Yeah.
So he was motioning to Azim to just use.
Yeah, but then Azim is sitting there and he's like, "I'm ready." Even Azim is like, "I'm ready, I'm ready." And
he flints it up, and that's when Will Scarlett gets tied down to the thing, and then that's when your favorite moment where he gets spat on. That's when that happens. So the barrel of explosive is that he's about to shoot. Then Will Scarlett, as soon as he gets it lit on fire, that's when Will Scarlett gets tied down onto it, so he can't do it because otherwise he's going to blow his brother up. So he doesn't, and then he shoots it. Absolute beautiful shot of the arrow going across, like just cutting through.
There was a couple of those.
Yeah.
That shot with they did another one in the forest.
Where he goes in between the arrows
and he splits the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the executioner shot where the flaming arrow and you just see him go stuck, body limp, and then falls back. I like that.
It's just the whole
Lord of the Rings-esque.
You've got that whole,
yeah.
You actually hear it go off, and it is really iconic. For whatever you think about the film, that is a really iconic shot. And like Marian's like screaming, that's when they nick off and they go upstairs, and you see some ass cheeks going up the stairs. But John Little John, whatever, the same thing.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, okay. He goes in.
Little John.
He takes out the actual gallows. He goes into one of the posts of the gallows, knocks them down so everyone gets their feet. Everyone gets released. Azim there with his fucking sword. And that sword looks fucking badass.
That is dope.
He's there on top. One of the guards runs out. He just pulls his sword out.
It's like a scimitar, right?
It's just, this bit.
Yeah.
Brian, you probably.
It's so dope.
Are you talking about whose sword?
Azim's.
So Azim's, when he's on top of the
it's
battlements.
massive. It's
a
massive. I don't know
massive
what the sword is called, but it's massive.
It's like
Apparently,
some
he
sort
can
of
throw with that
saber.
shit too, man. He could toss that fucking
That
sword.
part that bothered me a little bit.
You'll see what I mean about the Army of Darkness, but there's a couple of scenes with the witch that is like straight.
It wasn't even the fact that
he.
he threw it and it hit her. It's the fact that he threw it and when it hit her, she got
Flies
yeeted back like fucking 30 feet.
Yeah.
Like that was ridiculous.
Let's get to that bit because, like, they go up, they get the statue. They both look at each other, the statue, and they're trying to break down the door. They break the head off the statue. They can't. Robin goes off to try and find somewhere else in, which he does. He goes up to the battlements. He gets the cloth, makes some sort of swing, something to swing with.
This scene, they
smashes through the window to the Quentin's favorite bit. But then when they're doing it, and throughout the film, sorry, we haven't mentioned, Mortiana is always talking about the painted man, which is obviously Azim. And as we find out, Azim means, he says, it great one. So then Mortiana,
here's the Rock,
comes out with a spear, and she goes one-on-one with the great one with a spear, and he fucking gets stabbed in the leg, throws her back on the wall, sticks it in her. She nicks off. I don't know how she gets back in.
Poor choice of wording.
Well, yeah, no, it wasn't.
Puts her up against the wall, sticks it in her.
And she runs off.
Yeah, and then she runs off and fucking disappears. And then gets the return.
Then, anyway, so Robin saves everything that you said before. Robin saves it. He saved with his letter opener. He gets a bit bested by Sheriff of Nottingham. So they had the big fight, the WWE sword fight. I'm not going to lie, I thought that was really, considering these guys are not trained in this sort of thing. So it was just, and it was really close quarters. And one of the fucking sword Alan Rickman's got is as big as me. He's trying to swing this thing, and it looks like it would cut through a hell of a lot of that sort of stuff. But then he just sticks a knife in him. She dies. And then right at the end, out of nowhere, Mortiana pops up. And then out of nowhere, for some reason, you've not heard any banging. All of a sudden, the door bursts open. I don't know how he's managed to do it finally. Door bursts open, and then fucking yeets this fucking scimitar at her. It just launches her back.
Launches
Like
her
a
back like
shotgun
30
blast.
feet, man. That was ridiculous.
Shotgun blast.
I'm okay with the sword getting thrown and it hits her, but just flying back 30 feet after it does, no.
She looks like she weighs about 90 pounds.
I was going to say, but like also leading up to that, maybe it's her witchly power or whatever the fuck, but Homegirl's running around with a spear completely impaled through her body. Then 10 minutes.
She's got
10 minutes
powers.
walking around like that, I guess. Leave that to the witchy divine power.
Powered by the devil. Running on devil juice. Don't know what you...
Guess so.
But then Azim finally confirms he's fulfilled his vow. So that's he's able to leave him. Then cuts to after she says, "You come back for me, I would die for you." And I'm not gonna lie, totally buying the actual love story, like their love there. Genuinely, but just watching it, do I buy this? It's like, yeah, I completely buy their being in love.
I don't.
Then got the
He's
little,
an American in England when America isn't even a thing yet.
It's not in that sense.
He actually created
a long
the
way
American accent.
She wouldn't fall in love with him. She'd be like, "What the fuck is that accent?"
Dude, I think there was
Yankee.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I think there was some Central American civilizations that weren't even started by then. By 1200.
Right.
But then camera pans down. They're in the woods. Clearly, it's a wedding ceremony, she's got a little, crown of twigs and berries, like pine cones and shit on her head. But not gonna lie, she does look very beautiful.
And who arrives to this wedding?
And then who arrives? Tell us, Brian.
Who arrives to the wedding?
Who comes
back to give the bride away?
It's time to.
Come on, you can do it.
I wish I could. I had a good Sean Connery impression. The only thing I can say good is listen. Every once in a while, you have to give him a little slap.
Just a little slap.
No,
it's mainly making fun of, not making fun, but admiring Bill Burr's joke that he did.
Give him a little slap.
Give him a little slap.
Is that the worst thing ever? What did he say? What did he say?
Let me tell you what Coco Chanel did. Now, what did he say again? That was so bad. It's a wild joke.
Here's the thing.
Speaking of Sean Connery showing up at the end there, I don't know if it's true, but I read that he was offered $1 million. And,
are you going to say?
He wanted $1 million. Sorry.
You are going to say exactly what I was going to say. He wanted $1 million for. You're going to say exactly what I'm going to say.
No, I was just going to say he wanted it for the role, $1 million. But then they said we can't give you $1 million just for that last scene, and he was like, well, how about this? How about 250,000? But I send it straight over to the Scottish hospital of my choosing. I think that's what happened.
Oh shit! No, okay, no,
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, isn't that cool? If that is true, I don't know if
he didn't need the money.
He probably.
Yeah,
didn't.
I mean, yeah.
Isn't that crazy though?
He's
that
got more pussy
his
and money
fee was
than he knew what to do with.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though? That like a fee for showing up in a minute.
Not even a minute, bro. Probably not even a minute.
Addressed as King Richard. That would have been $1 million payday if he got his way.
Did he have an accent in this?
Yeah, that's his speaking
Scottish
voice.
one.
That's how we talk, Smish Money Penny.
Money Penny.
No, here's another $1 million thing about that. Mel Gibson.
There he is. We almost made it without him.
There we go. The continuity still holds true.
Yes.
That wasn't even intentional. Mel Brooks, who did Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Yeah.
In '93. So it was like a spoof parody with Carrie Elwes. Sean Connery was actually genuinely interested in reprising that role.
No shot.
He wanted $1 million. This is where I thought you were going. He wanted $1 million to do it, but it's a Mel Brooks film, so it's like shoestring budget.
Yeah.
And just like see how much because they never trust these films. They always do gangbusters, but no one ever trusts them because it's always a risk. But they couldn't do it. So the person who did play King Richard was Patrick Stewart. And so Patrick Stewart then did a Scottish accent in the film, just as a tip of the cap to Sean Connery. That's where I thought you were going with the $1 million.
No, I didn't know that. But
that's
funny. I've never seen the Mel Brooks,
the Men in Tights.
There's
Men in Tights one.
But is it like a fun parody?
It's a really good parody.
I would probably enjoy it more than this. And I'm not saying that as a knock. I just feel like Robin
Dave Chappelle's
Hood.
in that too.
Chappelle's in it. Dave Chappelle's in it.
So it's like full-blown parody.
I nearly put my name as Dave Chappelle's character.
That would have...
But it's the wrong film and I'm not black, so...
Dave Chappelle, I've actually seen him act in a movie called Fences with Denzel Washington, and he was like an actual serious actor in it.
That was Viola Davis. Was it Viola Davis?
He was in Fences, yeah.
Dave Chappelle was in Fences?
Like 99% sure. Yeah.
Hold on, Fences, 2016 movie. I can't believe that.
I'm gonna have to check that one out again.
Nah, He's not in that.
I was going to say, I'm
There
pretty
is-
sure
You would know. You would know. It would have become
it would
a thing.
stick out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
No, but
He is
what
in
am
the
I
movie.
thinking
What's
of?
that movie with in that music movie? It's
No,
Bradley
the movie I'm thinking of.
Cooper.
Yes, A Star Is Born.
Star is Born. Yes. he's
Thank
in
you.
that.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, where he's sitting on the.
Oh yeah, because they're so
on the-
similar.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington, or you've got Bradley Cooper and fucking Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
just
similar.
remember him sitting on a
It's
stoop,
easily
like
done.
outside, and having a serious conversation. And I remember Fences was a lot of that. Maybe not sitting on a stoop, but like in that backyard area. I was blending movies. That's really strange.
Okay. Sort of kill the continuity. Going back to Robin Hood's Men in Tights. So it was Carrie Elways who did this. So if you don't know who he was the guy who saws his foot off in the first Saw, or he was
the white dude with the
yeah, him. But he was
He
also
was in.
The
I know him
Princess
from
Bride.
Glory. He was in Glory. He was
God.
Matthew Broderick's major, and Matthew Broderick was the colonel.
You watch a lot more American Civil War films.
You would
than
really
I
like.
do.
You would really like Glory.
No,
Both of you guys would.
I've seen most of. At
It's
least
by.
most of it.
It is above and beyond, by far the best American Civil War movie that there is, and there's quite a few. But none of them. There is no other movie on that subject that comes even close to as good as that one.
Right. Well, considering you've made it a darker tone there, I was going to tell you a few jokes from that film that take the piss out of this one. From Men
Of
in
the Mel
Tights.
Brooks one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, Carrie Elways. At some point, he sat at the like the high table, and next to the sheriff or whatever. And he said, and he just turns to the camera. Unlike some Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
Oh, that's good.
When it got translated into a few other languages, so obviously there's different voice actors, so that wouldn't work if because it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Voice actors, you're not going to have Robin, you don't have Kevin Costner in Germany, whatever. Unlike some Robin Hoods, I didn't cost the producer $5 million. And
They're throwing some darts.
What was the $5 million reference for?
His fee.
Who? Kevin Costner? Oh, so they're just shitting on Kevin Costner in this movie.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And unlike some Robin, because he's done up, he's got like the cap with the green cap with the red feather in it, which apparently someone did that as a joke to Kevin Costner. Someone put in his trailer, so while he's out, someone put in his trailer an actual set of green tights, like the whole actual original Robin Hood fit. If you think of Robin Hood,
It's like the tights.
Yeah.
the tights, the green thing, the hat.
Yeah.
So someone put that in, so he actually thought at some point, because they just thought we won't go that way because it's not going to work in it's the 90s, but that's not going to work. So they medievaled him up a bit. But one of the other languages was, unlike some of the Robin Hoods, I can actually wear tights. So they just shitting on fucking Kevin Costner.
Yeah, man. I'll say this for Kevin Costner, man. I like a lot of his performances. I think he should stay away from characters that are not American, though. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
But
I think those days are past him.
Yeah, but when because I think Quentin hinted that he's not a fan of his behavior. I feel like Kevin Costner is like.
I just don't like him as an actor, but it doesn't help.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but it's with his like. I guess you would call antics, like it's a mixed bag because I feel like anytime he gets to the point where like he has a couple major hits or something, then he starts to
Get
kind
cocky.
of
He starts
get
acting
cocky.
a bit.
I wouldn't say throw his weight around, but he kind of like becomes a prima donna and becomes kind of difficult to work with. But then something will happen where he's like, kind of slapped back into reality, you know,
Schmuck the buck.
or like something like Waterworld, where after Waterworld it was kind of like, ooh,
Oh yeah, it was radio silence for him.
yeah,
Waterworld
it was
95.
kind of hard. I feel like it was kind of hard for him to recover from that. He
Yeah.
did, but then like there'll be something else where like he'll have a big hit, like recently, like Yellowstone, like he was almost, you know, kind of
Didn't he just come out with like a fucking 3-hour long Western that like...
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting to. Like in the Yellowstone, like not many people were thinking about Kevin Costner anymore, and then he does that show, and it becomes, you know, the biggest hit show, at least in the United States, since probably Game of Thrones.
Huge. Yeah,
and everybody fucking loves it, including me. I love the Yellowstone show. I'm actually watching the spinoff 1923 right now.
Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah. But the
Isn't there one 18 like 18?
There's two spinoffs, I think.
Yeah, so Kevin Costner is he like recently, like this is the most recent moment where he's like, "Oh, I'm part of a massive hit, and like now it's time to start making demands again." And that's what had him off the show, because the final season he's not on the show because they're like, "All right, your demands are getting too ridiculous. Like we'll just do the show without you."
Like, all right, and hear me out. I don't dislike The Rock. The Rock is one of those actors that has wild demands. Like when he comes into a movie, he's like, "Pay me fucking X amount," or like, "I'm not doing it," which is just good business. Like he's not out here trying to make, you know, he's not out here trying to get Oscars, right? He's here to act and to make his money. When you start making demands and you start acting like an ass on set, like that's a different thing.
When the public doing.
Like The Rock has been doing, like pissing in cups, you know, showing up fucking 10 hours late or whatever it is.
I don't know. I have issues with that because you know who said that was Ryan Reynolds, and now look at the state Ryan Reynolds is in. So
Ryan Reynolds is fucked.
Ryan, there are, you could make fun of The Rock like a lot. I feel like that one in particular was Ryan Reynolds just lying his ass off again.
I have nothing against The Rock. I don't like when people get a big ego.
I don't either.
You know, but at the same time, like The Rock does a lot of things he doesn't need to do, like for charity. Like he's held up a pretty good persona throughout the years. He does a lot for his fans.
He's lost a lot of the.
I mean, there's only so much a man can do. I mean, he's getting older now. You know, he's got his fucking family. He's got kids that are growing up. I still think he's a good guy. I just don't like it when actors. And I think with Kevin Costner, like when I watch him in a role, he just like. I don't know. There's something about it where I'm just like, I don't fucking like your face. I like
The Rock is a
I don't know.
This is how I feel about fucking Ryan Reynolds, but it's so bad where like there's not one performance where I'm like, yeah, I like that. No, not one.
The Rock is a walking infomercial, and this is coming from someone who was as big a fan of The Rock as Brian was. Like, trust me, I'm rooting for the guy, but it's just ridiculous. What everything you look at, it's just look at my fucking tequila, whatever it is, or look at my body armor, or
he's a walking advertisement.
Yeah,
it's just
he's got to be worth. He's got to be close to $1 billion by now.
Oh, easily, and he's commanding fees that he doesn't justify.
But at the same time, like he's not here looking for Oscars. Seriously,
no, but he's not providing. He's not providing the box office returns. He's just hasn't.
At least not lately.
Yeah, but
unless you count Moana, it was big hit.
Moana, he's got live action Moana. I actually enjoyed the Red One movie that came out with Chris Evans. I thought it was a fun little watch. Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons and The Rock, the Santa movie. Good family watch.
It was definitely not going for an Oscar there.
No, it was just a fun little Christmas.
Craig knows that I'm a big Rock fan, but it's specifically wrestling.
Yeah,
when it comes to
wrestling,
movies,
look what happened in the wrestling thing. Like if he comes out, if his music hits, it's like it's like Stone Cold coming back as well. Everyone's on their feet. And what happened at Mania last year? Like everyone just went, no, dude, you're misunderstanding. Where people like you when you come back and you do, if you smell and blah blah. For you
smell what?
No, Craig's just mad that he tried to replace his boy Cody Rhodes.
He literally did. I wasn't mad.
Yeah, and then they rejected it, and he was like, because The Rock is so smart in wrestling that he went, I'll tell you what, I'll become a villain, and we can make something even better out of this.
Yeah, why
and
not?
They did.
That's smart.
And they did. If he was truly like a fucking asshole and a prick, he would have been like, oh, well, too bad, Cody. You could take a fucking seat.
Well, he was doing that initially, and then everyone just literally, like, I think it was trending on Twitter for like 3 days solid. It was like #1 trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally, we want Cody. Like, The Rock was saying, I'm going to take Cody's place. And Cody was, there you go, Rock. You can take my place.
I mean, that shit's all calculated, though. Like, they know.
No, it wasn't.
Right?
No, they've done, even they have done, like, released, like, backstage
That's what
stuff.
they want you to think.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Brian.
It's literally all a big show. I mean, I don't know shit about wrestling.
No, this is you trying to keep kayfabe alive.
I'm not trying to keep kayfabe alive. I fucking gave up on that.
Should we move on?
Dude, a lot of shit in wrestling is still a work, dude.
Let's
telling you.
4 minutes. Can we do?
We can do this in 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
I have faith in us.
I don't think we can.
All right, 2 reviews.
Your review first. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna give it a fucking 5. I'll give it a 6. I enjoyed the middle of the movie, and that is it. I'm gonna give it a 5. For me, a good movie needs to have a good, decent fucking beginning.
The way you said it, maybe
middle, and end.
5.
I don't like. I didn't hate it. Is the thing. Like, I just really.
No, I could tell you didn't, but you just
didn't hate it. Like, I enjoyed a lot. Like, God, man, Snape was fantastic in this movie. Truthfully, though, that's like. That's all it's, bro.
I know.
He's great in this movie, but I swear on my life, bro, like, he's like probably the only part of this movie that like I like really enjoyed. Him, the Friar, and fucking Little John or John Little. Like, I swear, like, some of the smaller characters had more of an impact than the main characters I really didn't care for. Loved Morgan Freeman. I just wanted to see more, but I understand that wasn't really his role in this movie. And when they did give him his moments to shine, he did great. The beginning of the movie didn't like just catch me, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm so invested. Middle of the movie was a lot of fun. It was lighthearted. There was some good humor in there. You also had the seriousness, you have the training montage. Ending in the movie, I just felt like was a clusterfuck that I have way too many problems with. Way too many. Besides the screaming witch that's walking around impaled for fucking 15 minutes off camera and then suddenly appears in the room. From what I understand is there's only one entrance to that they couldn't knock the doors down to get into. One entrance and the witch magically appears.
No, there had to have been 2 because she came out and stabbed him. There had to have been an exit because she comes out and stabs him with the spear.
Well, if the other fucking exit was flying through a window, apparently, according to Kevin Costner. But anyway,
he didn't build
the sword fighting scene, I was waiting for it to be done. I didn't like the love interest. I thought she was annoying. The main character was not a hit for me. It's just not my favorite. I give it a 5 out of 10, but I did enjoy some parts of it. Truthfully, if they would have made this movie more of a comedy, I would have enjoyed it so much better. The comedy in here was so good. But the flip-flopping between trying to be serious and then having a weird love affair, like, I get you need a love interest, but it just felt out of place for me in the sense, like, I just didn't feel that chemistry between the two. Music was great through and through. That bumped it up 3 points. No, it was good. I enjoyed it, man. Yeah.
Brian, I'm gonna need a second to digest that.
Muppet rating 8.
Okay.
8 out of 10 Robin Hoods. 8 out of 10 Mary Moan.
You just gave it a 5, right, Quintano?
Yeah.
Okay.
Muppet rating, I gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8. Okay. I will. I'm going to give this a 6.
I just said that. You didn't hear me. As soon as you said 5,
I thought Quentin was going to be like a 4 or 3.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it too. Like Quentin, I enjoyed the middle bit the most. The beginning of the film was the part that, like the first, a lot of the stuff that happened in the first 30 minutes was the part, most of the stuff that I had problems with. But it picked up about 30 minutes in, and for the next hour and a half, I had a great time. The ending was a little dodgy in some parts, but I think the beginning was worse. A lot of stuff at the beginning, especially that Brian Blessed scene. I'm like offended that scene exists.
I forgot about that.
That was terrible.
Muppet 9.
But it was nice to see. I had no idea Michael Wincott was in this, so that was good to see him because I fucking love that guy. Kevin Costner, not a fan of him as Robin Hood. It's not just the accent either. It's just the nature of how he acts around things. Alan Rickman brings it back up though. His performance is unforgettable. Morgan Freeman is good in this. Christian Slater, I've never been a Christian Slater fan. Anytime I see him, I think he just looks like a human snake. He looks like somebody like he's got one of those. Like, remember Quentin was talking about how punchable Kevin Costner's face is? That's how I feel about Christian Slater.
That's fair. That's really fair.
But it was also good to see Sean Connery again. I'm kind of upset that Brian Blessed got the scene that he got. But I'll tell you what, there were some very creative ways that they shot some of the action sequences in this, and I appreciated that, especially with the arrows with Robin Hood. Yeah, that was really cool actually. And of course, the comedy in this, most of it coming from how ridiculous Alan Rickman's character is acting, and it's just it's brilliant.
Funny, man.
It's brilliant. I could watch him all day. And I actually think that this is probably Alan Rickman's greatest performance that I've seen now. Even though, yeah, I mean, I hate to mention Snape too, but I mean that's such a great performance in Harry Potter. So,
Preach.
It really is when you get right down to it. But Alan Rickman, I think this is even better. It really is. He's insane. Of course, I'm like one of the few people who hasn't seen Die Hard beginning to end, so that might be the best one. I just haven't.
That's going to be interesting.
But we're probably going to save that for Christmas at some point. That'd probably be the thing to do. But yeah, what else can I say about this? The music was good. It was some of the places where they shot the castle scenes, particularly indoors, seemed like they were pretty cool. But yeah, it was a fun movie, and the stuff that is bad about it doesn't diminish how much fun this movie can be. So I'm giving it a 6. Muppetry rating, however, that would be pretty high for me as well. It would probably be.
The catapult! The catapult!
Fuck me, he cleared it.
Yeah.
Just trusting that they're going to land on hay and not drop 50 feet to their death. But sorry, go ahead.
Muppetry rate. You gave it an 8. I'm tempted to give it a 9, dude.
It's fucking fair.
I'm gonna stick with 8 as well. But it's in particular. I had a real problem with the fucking letter opener as a knife, and he cuts a rope that's like this fucking thick. It's like that would no. And then he just gets away. It's like, no, fuck off. So there's a lot of Muppetry going on in this. And the forest artillery. I'm looking through my notes to see what else was ridiculous about this. He almost fucking killed his own horse on the way out because he whipped it with the sword. And then, yeah, it's some of the Muppetry is pretty bad in this one. Anyway, I did enjoy it though. This was definitely a fun, even though it's a 6, it was a fun 6. So yeah, it's not horrible. Craig? It's not horrible. I enjoyed it.
Take the music and Alan Rickman out. I'd give it a 6. I grew up with this. Obviously, I said I remember watching it in the cinema. So it's because I was a fucking kid. It didn't bother me about I didn't. I wasn't even thinking.
You don't think about it when you're a kid.
Yeah, I don't. He's not from Nottingham.
That's true.
You know,
that's a good point.
So I've just always watched it and then like repeat watchings. I'm not. But at some point I go, hang on. He's
if it doesn't bother a British kid, it shouldn't bother you. That should be your advertisement for this movie.
Oh no! If I saw this as a British adult, I'd be going, "Oh, fucking what?" But I've got that nostalgia, so this is my rating. It's not. We're being goofballs. It'd be at least a 6. Michael Kamen's music is
Michael
fucking
Caine?
fantastic. Kamen.
Michael Caine.
Michael Kamen.
Michael Caine.
The guy, he's the
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Your boy there. And he also wrote the Everything I Do It For You. He wrote
Every
that
time you touch, I get this feeling. Sorry, go ahead.
Why did you sing that song?
Because when you said it earlier, I didn't know what song you were talking about, so that's where I went.
That's Laszlo.
Yeah,
Every
I know.
time yes. Brian Adams has done a couple of dance songs. That was not one of them. Everything I Do It For You.
You should sing that song in Michael Caine's voice.
Every time I touch, I get this feeling. Every time, no.
Every time we kiss, I swear
I could fly. I'm not doing it. Michael Kamen, he's knocking it up a point. Alan Rickman. Oh god.
Insanely good.
You should knock you up at least 3 points, bro.
Entertainment wise, this is a 9 for because of Alan Rickman. Because he's not in it in every single scene, I'll give it an 8. And this is a biased opinion. I know it's not that great, but my whole entire adult life, I have gone, that is the best Alan Rickman performance ever. It is worth watching just for that. And I have watched it just for that. And most adults' favorite of Alan Rickman is Hans Gruber in Die Hard. It's amazing. It's like they make out like it's Hannibal Lecter. Like it's that level of good. I mean, it's not. There's a lot of hamminess in it, but it's that level of iconicism. To me, this beats Hans Gruber. It really does.
That's a good word.
I can watch.
Iconicism.
I said that's a good word. Iconicism.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I can just put this on, have it on in the background, and every time, I won't like be paying that much attention. As soon as Alan Rickman's on, if I'm walking around and it's on TV, I'll just be turning around. As soon as Alan Rickman's on, shut up, you twit!
He said that twice, didn't he?
No, he just said it was. He's like, Lord Nottingham, is this your meaning? When everything goes to shit at his wedding, is this your meaning of? Yes, is this your meaning of something? And he just goes, turns around to him, shut up, you twit!
Yeah, I thought he said it like to 2 different points in the movie. There, maybe I'm wrong.
He may have. I don't think he did. He may have done it, but I don't think, off the top of my head, I don't think he did. But it's just a joy to watch someone having so much fun, tune up the scenery,
Absolutely.
but making it so fucking good, and it is so fun. And he's just such an evil bastard. And it's Alan Rickman, and I've got so much, more, love for him that it isn't from this film. Like the guy was an absolute fucking sweetheart from everything I've heard, everything I've watched him in. I've really, really enjoyed.
He's great.
So, yeah. So it's not that I know it's not this good, but it's a strong 8 for me. But that is because it's my film. It's a film from my childhood. And yeah.
Michael Wincott, by the way, where do you think he's from?
I'd say America.
He's got to be American.
Canadian.
Ah,
that doesn't surprise. If you said no and guess again, that would have been my second guess. Genuinely, I was like,
if you've ever seen him he's put on British accents before, and at
Pretty
least to me,
decent.
it sounds good. But I'd like to see if our expert on the panel here thinks it's any good.
yeah, you gotta check out
I
some
can tell you if
YouTube videos.
He's
it
actually-
sounds any good.
Yeah, he does
Not
it.
an
He does
expert.
one in Count of Monte Cristo. He actually does it as the Prophet of Truth in Halo as well.
It's an English accent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does an English accent. I'll give you my opinion. Put it this way: there's that many English accents. I've heard 90% of them, but there's still plenty I've not heard, and that is. I know that might sound stupid to you, Quentin, but no, there's that many.
Makes sense,
Like,
man. If you
he's-
spend
he's-
most of your
he's
life
not
in,
lying.
I'll hear other things in it, so I'll go, "Oh no, that's British because I can hear this," and you think, what part of Scotland are you from? Never heard that accent before, but I'll tell it's Scottish and I'll tell it's English, or I know you're from the northeast, southwest, southeast. But most British people can do that. I'll give it a listen, see what he says. But
what do you got for a Muppet rating?
it's a strong 9 because he is a fucking Alan Rickman is just right. Okay, you're getting points for Kevin Costner just being insert American actor here. You're getting points for that, but Alan Rickman just chewing the fucking scenery is just. That is why I love this film so much, and because it's set in England, and I thought you guys would also maybe appreciate the scenery, as stupid as that sounds.
Yeah. There was actually there was one shot in particular where there were these massive cliffs, and it was in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah,
The White Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's essentially made of chalk, or
I was like,
so that's what I was saying at the start
amazing.
of the film. At the start of the film, it's so they land there, and he said by night we'll be in eating with my father, and it's like, mate, you are literally 3 days walk from getting from there to there.
Yeah.
If you had a car, it would be a 4-hour drive. So yeah, the White Cliffs of Dover. So many films, whenever you see someone coming in at the sea, they'll be at the White Cliffs of Dover. Which is why there was a song on Guitar Hero 3 called
They look so
Cliffs of
much
Dover.
bigger in this film, though. Like it's
More grand.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because it was a further away shot, but I've seen those in other films. Like it was in one of those movies about Dunkirk, I think. But
that would make sense. Yeah, that's the first, as close as you can get. So
yeah, but I don't know. They just seem so much bigger in this one. They seem massive, and maybe it was just that section of it that is so big.
Yeah, they just maybe
Yeah.
it's just being a road.
I was like, holy shit.
What do you
So,
got for
anyway.
next week's movie, Mr.
Well, next
King
week
Boomer?
I think we all agreed to
Yes,
go
we
see
did.
Mickey 17, right?
Oh yeah! Oh my god! We already got tickets. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah. But if you're thinking about my pick for the following week,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it
a
all
month's time.
in a month's time.
Yeah, so if it's oh no, so is this just
No,
collective?
no, this is just us. Like
This is a collective,
right?
Yeah.
right?
This
And
is
you,
us-
and you next week. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
this is us agreeing to go see something recent
Okay,
because
cool beans.
I was checking with you guys. I mean, it was my suggestion to like maybe would you guys think about?
Yeah, I think it's a
seeing
good.
this- Yeah,
I mean, Robert Pattinson. I'm
because
I'm
I
all
think
in
if
for
there's
you.
a movie out there that we all three of us want to check out, then we
Yeah.
should do it. Like we all
100%.
wanted to see the new Gladiator, even though we were worried about it. We still
I
wanted
know.
to see
I
it.
wanted to see it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this.
But this Mickey 17 movie looks like it has potential.
It
And
gives
it's
me
Rob-
A24 vibes, but it's not. I don't think it is A24, but it gives me the vibes.
But it looks like a science fiction, like an interesting science fiction that has quite a bit of comedy in it. It looks like it could have too as well. So
Looks like it's
and
gonna be fun.
Robert Pattinson is on his A game lately. So
He's so underrated.
he really
That
is.
sounds stupid.
He's actually
the amount
been
of
I think
talking-
good,
people know now how
Oh, they
good
know
work
now.
that he's come out with is being.
I knew for quite a long time that he was very talented.
Brian, one of Brian's favorite movies, not a lot of people know this, is Twilight with Robert Pattinson.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I've never seen
is
one
that-
Twilight movie. I've
that
never seen
private? I'm
one.
sorry, Brian.
Don't lie to us
Don't
or
put
the
that
audience.
on me.
Don't lie to us or the
I've
audience.
never
You told
seen
me
one
you-
Twilight movie.
You told
Dude,
me
the only thing. Have you ever seen this? Like, this is gonna make this drag on for another 5 minutes probably. But there was who's the guy? I think his name is Taylor something.
Taylor Lautner.
He plays the wolf
the
guy.
werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I haven't seen this. The only reason I know that is because I saw
Greg
him
Davis.
in a trailer. He played the lead role. I think it was like the only time he ever played a lead role in a film.
Oh, what? He's on a train and he's like some sort of.
He played some like fucking like it was kind of like Jason Bourne shit.
Yeah. So he's like
And
some,
Sigourney
it's a spy
Weaver
film.
was in this movie, and I remember I never watched this film, but I saw a trailer for it, and I just remember that the trailer, like Sigourney Weaver is like
Called
driving.
Tracers.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Sigourney Weaver's in it?
Let me see. It's either Tracers or Abductions. He only has like 10 movies that he's in.
Yeah, because he's so
Like
bad.
6 of them are Twilight.
Yeah. Dude, he's in this movie. He's in this movie, and in the trailer, I remember I had my DVR. I kept replaying it like 100 times because Sigourney Weaver is like driving a truck and they're speeding away, and she's like, "All these people are like going to round you up, and this is not going to be good." And he literally just turns it in the fucking worst acting ever. He just goes in the girliest voice too. He's like, "Who are these people?"
No shot. That's rough, bro.
I was like, dude, nobody's gonna see this, and two, if they do, they'll be like, well, I'll never watch him in a movie again.
Jesus.
Brian, can I just fucking blow your mind for?
It has a 5% on the tomato. 5%.
Film friends.
Oh
Right,
my
Brian,
god.
5%. Who are these people?
Brian, I want to blow your fucking mind here, mate.
Whoa.
I don't know. If
What did Quentin shut up, dude? He has to make everything sexual. He has to make everything sexual.
I've not seen it, but I know it was at least a concept because there was a trailer for it. It was Taylor Lautner and Greg Davies in a TV
Fuck
show.
off.
I am not fucking
Fuck
kidding you.
off, dude. No. I have to know that this is a thing. I have to know.
I got it.
That's insane.
And Greg what?
Davies. D-A-V.
The British sitcom. Greg Davies.
Wait a minute. You're telling me Taylor Lautner's British?
No,
No.
he's not.
No, but he was in a British
British
TV. It was a
sitcom?
TV show.
What was he trying? What did his career tank here? So
It's
he went over
called
there.
Cuckoo.
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 Oh,
Like,
I've been recommended this to watch this on my channels.
Cuckoo. Yeah.
No,
Trust
he
me,
is
it
in,
was
he's in that.
It's because of Greg Davies and not because of him. Trust me on that one, motherfucker. It
No.
was because of Taylor.
Nobody has ever recommended anything with him except for Twilight.
No, and that's not just on your channel. That's just in the history of ever. No one's ever recommended it.
Yeah, dude. No, that's I don't know. As soon as you mentioned Twilight, I thought of that guy and like how terrible he was.
Yeah,
That's
I remember
horrendous.
seeing
And I've
that,
never
and I
even
just
seen
thought-
him in a single thing. I just remember that trailer going, "Who the fuck is gonna take this seriously?
I'm literally
Who are
gonna
these
watch.
people?"
I want to watch the trailer after this. It's called Abduction.
We have to watch it after this.
Yes.
That's when we cut it off because I don't think I can play it on a.
No,
So we got
yeah.
Mickey 17 next week. I'm actually super excited for that.
Yeah,
and
and
what-
then
what we doing
the
after that?
following after the following week, my pick is This was tough because I was juggling a couple movies because Morgan Freeman, Michael Wincott, and Kevin Reynolds all made me want to select 3 or 4 different movies. But I'm gonna go with this one because I don't think we've just done like a thriller yet,
Okay.
and this is kind of like a crime thriller. So this is going to be we're gonna watch Along Came a Spider, which
Interesting.
is Morgan Freeman and Michael Wincott.
Oh,
I've
sick.
definitely heard of it. I've definitely not watched it. So
It's I think it's late '90s movie. It's
Oh,
I love it.
It's 90s. I know it's definitely 90s.
Mm-hmm.
critics did not love it.
No, I don't think it has a good critic score. But I
I'm
really
here for
like
a good
it.
ride, man.
Sometimes the critics get it wrong. So
Yeah, I'm here for it.
I'm not saying it's perfect, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm down for that. We've got next 2
game.
weeks lined up.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
So that'll be good. So yeah, Mickey 17, and then Along Came a Spider. So
That's
Here for it.
that's
we
great.
will
Well,
see. We will see. So let's wrap this up. Do you guys want to add anything else before I?
No,
this
I'm
up
glad.
here?
I'm glad both of you found the fun in it.
Yes, there is
yeah.
some fun to be had in this. Absolutely. In the middle.
And I'm glad.
No,
I'm
kidding.
glad you
I'm
both.
kidding.
I'm glad you both said Morgan Freeman was Morgan Freeman. Fucking hell, get it wrong. I'm glad you both said Alan Rickman was the
Alan
best
Rickman's
thing in
good.
He
this
was
film
amazing.
because he's the reason to watch this film for me. It's just so glorious. It's like so bad, but it's still so good. It's not bad. It's not like bad like Mortal Kombat is bad, but really good to watch. No, it's bad, but it is so fucking good at the same time. Somehow, those two things can live parallel to each other.
Preach.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Um,
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
let's get out of
on
here,
that-
guys.
So yeah, until this time next week, we hope you stuck around and
Thank you guys for tuning in.
join us for Mickey 17 next week.
Yeah. All right. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.
Thank you very much.